Turn the background music up a little bit, would you, Dave? A touch.
No, it'll be too loud. You can change the volume of your music. You can change the volume of what you hear, but if I change it, it fucks it up for everyone.
Okay.
In the settings and the little cog.
Video and audio. Yeah, I've got it. Master music level. Better.
Ed,
oh, an
take
eagle.
us in.
An eagle sound.
Previously on Dickheads and Dorks. Bastard.
Uther took a trophy. The chunk of a branch from the still burning tree. Moxie, too, took a piece of the enormous evil tree as a keepsake, the lips of its once gaping mouth. There's something disturbing about this fawn girl. She seems at times innocent, sweet almost, with her fondness for cute little Fergus, her protective nature towards the mushroom folk in general, and then at other times there seems to be something almost feral about her. Her willingness to do violence, her glee at destruction. She has taken teeth from goblins, limbs from fallen friends which she has then eaten, and now she has taken lips from a dead tree. What is she doing with all these body parts?
Get a golem.
Darwin summoned a healing spirit, and Voldrin, in a shocking display of selflessness for the drow, healed the druid with the magic gifted to him by Lolth, the Spider Queen. But the fight was not quite over. There were slow-moving mushroom creatures heading down from the north, but they were easily dispatched at range. Darwin pulled a wooden stake from the dead tree and said a few words for the land, calling on Sylvanas to heal this blighted place. He carved an oak leaf into the tree at the heart of the village, drawing his god's attention. And shortly, you found yourselves in the clearing where the Emeranil was waiting. There were hobgoblins there, trying to clamber up the anchor chain. Wu heard them speak, and he did not like what he heard. He tried to trick one of them, telling them its shoelaces were untied, but hobgoblins are smart, not easily fooled, and these ones weren't wearing shoes anyway. Which one of you...
They only flown an otherwise brilliant plan.
Which one of you is Luciana Roth? Asked their leader. I am, answered Voldrin, and Uther simultaneously. The hobgoblin spoke again, this time in the goblin tongue, and Wu again understood the words and called a warning to his companions. They were going to take Voldrin and Uther and kill the rest of you. A brutal combat ensued around the arcane anchor of the Emeranil. One of the hobgoblins hurled a bolt of lightning. It was very, very frightening. It caught Ducal, Moxie, and Tabitha, and Wu, and Voldrin all off guard, and he followed it up with a fireball that almost took Moxie's life, breaking the crackling arc of eldritch power that she had hurled in return. Lady Roth called down from the ship, her speech slightly slurred. "Are you all right down there?" She could see. Clearly she could see what was happening. But Voldrin said you had it all under control, and so she left you to it. And after the battle, inspecting the corpses, you realised that these hobgoblins wore the same uniforms as the one in the cave that those of you who came from the Feywild had seen, the one kidnapping the mushroom folk. And they had coins on them too, like the ones found on the hobgoblin in the Feywild cave, like the ones found on the butcher. These coins bore an alternate likeness of Lord Protector Renier Neverember, the man who has sent you out here, with Lucy, to find the crown of Alagondar. You clambered back aboard the Emeranil, where a slightly drunk Lucy told you the route she proposed. It was 900 miles to Candlekeep. You would have to make several stops overnight. First, to Thornhold, a small fortress near the Mere of Dead Men, where traders sometimes shelter on their journey along the high road, north to Neverwinter or south to Waterdeep and beyond. And Waterdeep would be your second stop, she said. Lady Roth had a dinner date there with an old friend, someone who seemed like they might be interested in joining your journey. And after that, to Orlumbor, a shipbuilding town with a proper sky dock. And then on to the last leg of your journey, the longest by far and perhaps the most dangerous. To Candlekeep, to the library, where perhaps you might find a clue to the location of the crown of Alagondar, which once belonged to the last king of Neverwinter. Dakal remains in the lead with creature kills with a total of 8, while Uther, Wu and Voldrum battle it out for joint second place with 5 kills each. Darwin stays put on 3 kills, but if there was an award for assists, he would probably be in first place. But there isn't. There's no medal for taking part in the land of Faerun. Fuck your participation trophy. Moxie finally gets off the starting blocks with firebalding the spores out of a violet fungus, but she's still in last place as Tabitha too claims a fungal death of her own. While Moxie might have been bottom of the leaderboard for kills, she was top for boss kills after burning the shit out of the Gulthias tree and taking its lips. This week, Dokal slides into joint first with Moxie on the boss board after killing the Hobgoblin Captain. It's neck and neck on the boss kills leaderboard, but it's only session 14 and there's still everything to play for. Candlekeep is 900 miles away. Join us next time on Why the Fuck is the DM Tracking Kills Since We Arrived in Thunder Tree. The gentle wind begins to pull at your clothing as the Emerenil climbs above the leafy canopy of the forest. Arcs of power flutter around Lady Roth's fingers. Her eyes glow softly. Right, let's turn you people into a crew, shall we? Tabitha, would you be so good as to take the wheel? I'll join you very shortly. Point us south to start with. The wind's on our side, so once the sails are unfurled, we should be on our way. She turns to Moxie. Moxie, can you cook? Oh, yes, I can. The duty of a bosun, Moxie, is to look after the ship and its crew, keep them fed and watered, and tour the ship. Keep an eye out for problems, anything at all. There's a galley one deck below, complete with a fully stocked larder to the fore. Perhaps you could cook us something up, Moxie. I don't know about the rest of you, but I haven't eaten since breakfast. Oh, yes, Lady Roth, I'd be delighted to. Moxie goes off to the galley. Fergus in tow. Darwin. Excuse me. Darwin, plot us a course to Thornhold, would you? There's plenty of maps in my quarters which you're free to use during the day hours. There's viewing decks fore and aft, a telescope. She points to the small balcony visible through the windows at the rear of the ship. Help you get your bearings. Dokal, as a rigger, your job is to manage the sails and the ropes. Should be easy work for a strapping lad like you. Get yourself on deck and I'll start going over everything with you. And Wu, you wanted to be my first mate, so you're with me. You help me communicate my orders to the crew. You help the crew when they require assistance. You are the go-between between myself and the rest of the crew, and as a result, you have to learn a little bit of everything. Stick with me, we'll have you shipshape, excuse the pun, in no time. Now, Uther and Voldran. I realise you both expressed interest in piloting Emerenil, but we can't have 3 people at the helm at once, now can we? So, I still need a lookout, and it never hurts to have more than one set of hands on the ropes. So, what'll it be, gents?
I'll take the night watch.
My eyes aren't very good, so not without my glasses. I could maybe go for a nap, perhaps. I don't know.
I mean, yes, if you think the rest of the crew will be okay with you not pulling our weight, Uther, by all means, go for a nap.
You put it like that, Lady Roth.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the little map of Emerenil. So this is a bit of a tutorial into the ship. It's almost like I'm preparing you to not have a wizard captain. Why would I do that? You do have a wizard captain. Weird, eh? Here's the map. All 4 decks are visible at once, just because it's much easier than having 4 different maps on the go at once. So I've put you roughly where you would be. For future reference, the first 2 maps on the left-hand side, obviously the majority of those 2 maps are the same. The main deck is the same on both. The only difference is one has the roof on, one does not, for the fore and aft castles. To get down below decks, there is a set of stairs in the fore castle. And then when you get below deck, there is also a large hatch for winching cargo in and out, and also a couple of sets of stairs that lead down to the cargo deck. The deck below the main deck is also where you will sleep. There are 2 cabins with a single bed in each, and there is a room with 5 hammocks, which 5 of you will have to share. That is entirely up to you. Like, you can fight it out for all I care. We can have first blood death by PvP battle. I don't think that's a very good idea, but I'd much rather you just, like adults, chose where you were going to sleep. But before we get to that, let's fly a ship. So for the next hour or so, Lady Roth tours the ship with Wu, giving instructions and encouragement to each of you. The whole time she remains... Has she blocked the toilet?
No.
So for the next hour or so, that's really why Leanne's not here as well, by the way. She's also blocked the toilet.
All right.
For the next hour or so, Lady Roth tours the ship with Wu, giving instructions and encouragement to each of you. The whole time she remains in telepathic contact with you all. You might remember at the end of the last session she did this spell where she cracked a couple of eggs, ground up the eggshells into powder, blew it on you. You are now all telepathically connected to one another for an hour. So for this first hour, she's talking to you all, giving you all pointers to get the ship airborne. She tells you which ropes to pull, what landmarks to be aware of, Darwin. She points out little foibles of the ship, tells Moxie to use more salt, all that sort of stuff. And she begins to... Have we just lost Hayden? We have, haven't we?
He's popped in and out a couple of times.
He'll be back, I'm sure.
Well, my Bullen connection's playing up on my computer, so I've just changed straight to my phone.
All right. She also starts teaching...
Has Liz chat on the Wi-Fi?
I'm not being sure what you've been saying all the time.
Is it such a massive turd that it's absorbing all the Wi-Fi signal? It's like a black hole. Yes. It's so dense.
It's a jam. They've deployed the jamming turd.
We need one of them on this ship. Anyway, she also starts to teach Wu what it means to be a leader. Some captains, she says, bark and scream and threaten, but this is no pirate schooner, nor is it a naval warship. This is a vessel of exploration and learning and fun, and I prefer to keep things a little less formal and loose, but in return, I expect obedience and respect, because when the shit does hit the sails, we need to be efficient and ready.
What, does that happen a lot?
You'd be surprised.
Voldrin just raised an eyebrow.
And there are some very large winged beasties in this region, is all I will say, Voldrin.
Are we going to go hunting? On a safari? Air safari?
No, we kind of have a mission.
Air safari?
No. Because that would be a boring game. As the day goes on, you learn more and more about your assigned roles. And you realise that working together, you can make piloting the Emerenil easy work. And each day when you travel via this skyship, a series of rolls will be made. The first 3 of those are D100 rolls for the weather, wind speed, and wind direction. I have pre-rolled these, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the greatest invention of the 16th century, DR, and that is the Windicator. So, I'll put you onto the world map.
Indicator.
So, here we go. This is piloting the ship tutorial level. Right, this is the Windicator. So this shows you a few things. I've pre-rolled the weather type, the wind speed, and the wind direction for today, which is there. Clear skies, light winds, and it should remain the same for the next 3 days. How very convenient, don't you think? It just happens to be blowing in the same direction you're travelling. But in future, you will be making these rolls. I will pick on one of you to make these rolls. So basically trying to encourage you all to blame each other for your misfortune rather than me or the gods or whoever. But this is tutorial guide for air sailing. The weather has been predetermined, as indicated by the Windicator. How convenient that the weather is with you today on this journey. Clearly Talos, the god of storms, is slumbering. Or maybe Shaundacle, the deity of travellers, exploration and the wind, smiles upon you. Or perhaps it's Sylvanus, Darwin's deity of choice. Maybe he heard the prayer in Thundertree and is blessed thee with his boon. Or perhaps it's Timora, goddess of fortune, has thrown a little luck your way. Or Valcor, exarch of the god Tempest, patron of sailors, ships and favourable winds. Maybe he's watching and interested. Or perhaps it is just a coincidence. Maybe, just to be safe, you should say a prayer or two to a god or three for safe passage now and then, because in a land like Faerun, the gods are very present, and they often take an interest in events of great magnitude, such as the finding of a long-lost crown, for example. But then again, you haven't found it, have you? So why would they take notice of you? With the weather all in place, we can see what effect this will have upon the day's journey. Very little in this case. A light wind means that sail speed is unaffected, handling is made no more difficult, and modifiers to ranged attack rolls also are not affected. How very convenient. I'd like to show you a little handout. This is called Weather Generation. This is the table you'll be rolling on, that you will be held responsible for when it goes wrong. So you can see on this table, depending on what sort of environment you're in, we're currently in a temperate environment, you will get variations in temperature, wind, rain. That will affect the speed of the ship and various other things. All the information you'll need in the future is on that Weather Generation handout. There is also another factor to be taken into account, and that is points of sail, or in layman's terms, the direction you're travelling in relative to the wind. So, as I said, fortune smiles on you today, the wind's blowing with you. If you look back at the main map, this is what this Windicator really is all about. It shows the direction of travel relative to the wind. So, currently we have a wind blowing south. The Emerenil is travelling slightly on the piss to that. So we overlay one over the other and we can see how it affects which category you fall into. So at the moment you can see that the Emerenil on the Windicator is pointing at running. That means that it's full speed. We can rotate those around and figure out whether it's running, broad reach, beam reach, close hold, or in irons. And once we have that information, what the set speed of the ship will be, we can determine how far you will travel in any given day, and that's where this next handout comes. Travelling by Emerald. So if you look at that handout that I've popped up, you'll see that with the wind running behind you, you are at full speed, 24 miles an hour, or 192 miles a day. Would anyone like to guess how far it is to Thornhold?
10,000 miles.
Let's measure it, shall we? So from
Close enough.
here to Thorn. Well, would you look at that?
You're not going to force us to do mathematics during a game, are you?
Why would you have to do maths, Johnny?
To work out how far it is to the thing at the speed we're travelling.
have a map.
That's a maths question.
Why you have a map?
Okay.
So
Just wondered.
What if there's an airship coming towards us and it's going at 400 miles per hour? How quickly would we meet?
well, I don't know about that. What I do know is what would happen when you met.
Exactly, Alan. Exactly. It's that sort of nonsense we need to avoid.
So as you can see on the map, it's exactly 192 miles from where you are to Thornhold. Who'd have fucking thought it?
Incredible.
Incredible, isn't it?
Wow.
What a bizarre coincidence that is. It's almost like
That
the
is
gods
incredible.
are toying with you all or something.
Always.
So, with the weather and the speed set, the crew, guided, of course, by the lovely Lady Lucy Roth, adventurer extraordinaire, slayer of goblins, keeper of the sixth gate, and all-round great gal. It's time to set off, but first we need to see what impact each of you have on the journey. Each crew position has two modes, which you'll also see in the Travelling by Emerald handout. So, travel mode and combat mode. We can ignore combat mode for now. But it tells you in that table what each position does. You can all train in multiple positions, and when you are considered proficient in the position, you get better at it. But at the moment, you're all, pretty new to this shit. So the order that we do all these crew positions is the order that they are in the table. So we begin, as one always should, with the most important member of the crew, the one whose actions can dictate the mood and behaviour of the rest of the crew throughout the coming day. The one whose job it is to take care of the crew and the ship, Bosun Moxie, who has not joined us. So in combat, the bosun can raise the morale of the crew with a rousing performance, or browbeat them to work harder. Lives are at stake after all. But in travel mode, Moxie's job is to look after the welfare of the ship and its crew. And she has two choices. She can spend half a day cooking, serving drinks to you all, or she can spend the whole day supervising the ship in general. She's not here, so I'm going to make the decision for her. She's going to spend the whole day supervising the ship in general. So, I'm just going to make a roll for her, and then we'll move on. Alright, as Moxie wanders around the ship, she cooks you all a quick lunch. And she spends a lot of the day walking around the deck, keeping an eye on what Uther and Dukal are doing, and watching the ropes and the rigging, and notices at some point Dukal's probably spilt a beer, and she gives it a little clean up, and occasionally she knocks a rope into position that's out of position. Moxie's just doing all those little bits and pieces. As a result of helping on the crew deck, she gives a +2 to the rigger rolls. So Dukal and Uther, you will get a +2 when it's your turn to roll.
Oh, my Uther on the rigging. Oh, get on that rigging, Uther.
We're coming to you in a minute. So next is the captain, who, of course, is Lucy at the moment. But with training, the ship can be captained by anyone. But if the captain is a spellcaster and is bonded to the ship, as Lucy is, they can single-handedly operate the entire ship by themselves. But it's draining. It drains spell slots. But Lucy seems determined that you will learn how to operate this ship the old-fashioned way. And She spends the day touring the ship, giving pointers, telling amusing stories, hearty pats on the back, and all the while, Wu, you're with her, and she's guiding you and teaching you, the knowledge she's passing on to the crew, you're picking up as well. And she occasionally gives you a little pointer about, the best way to encourage people and this sort of stuff. So Lucy's going to make her roll, which is... she's going to do this as a persuasion check. She gets the choice. She fails miserably. Maybe it's because you don't know her that much. Maybe she's having an off day. Maybe she doesn't seem as at ease and as charming as she usually does. I would like all of you to make a perception check, please.
It's a double writing, absolutely tiny.
Put your mouse cursor Put your mouse cursor over the chat window, Hayden.
Oh, see, you're on my blooming game. Everything's tiny on the computer. So I'm done.
You've zoomed out.
No, I can't zoom any further in on my screen. The writing's tiny.
No, you've zoomed. If you,
So
is it Windows?
I'm using the old-fashioned zoom in where you put your head closer to it.
Is it all of Windows, not just Roll20 that's gone tiny?
It's all the windows, I think. Oh, so, well, my windows in this. Don't matter. Anyway, just carry on. I can read everything. I'll sort it out another time.
Hold down your Windows key and press the plus button.
Windows key. Huh. Don't think I've got a Windows key.
Of course you have.
Has it got 4 little squares on it?
Uh-huh.
I'm using a ThinkPad. Don't matter, David. Don't matter. I can read everything. Don't worry about it. I will try and figure it out while I'm doing it.
Hold down your Windows key and press the plus sign. That's what you need to do, trust me.
Okay. I found it. Press. Oh my god. I see. Thank you, Dave.
Okay. Dukal, I've sent you a message in Roll20. Right, so Lucy's done shit. She doesn't give her bonus to you. But, Woo, can you do better than the captain at motivating this crew? So you've got a choice of 2 things in travel mode. The first of which is to, you can use performance, intimidation, or persuasion to try and make a check to, encourage or chastise or entertain the crew. And if you're successful, you give a +2 to all the rest of the crew's rolls for the rest of the day. Alternatively, you can assist one other member of the crew and just give them advantage on everything. So, it's choosing the right tool for the job. So it might be...
Well, I'm sharing all these ones.
It might be that, providing an advantage to one particular person, for example, in a storm, it might be a good idea. But I say, these things, you're not supposed to be good at these stuff. But as you get better at them, you will replace these skills with a specialist skill relating to your crew position. So at the moment, you might be using performance, intimidation, or persuasion, but eventually you'll be using the first mate skill.
Well, I've just rolled a 20 for my persuasion check.
Nice.
So, persuasion, you goblin. With a -2.
Okay, so the rest of you, when you come to make your rolls today for the ship, you get +2 to everything, thanks to Wu. It seems Wu is much more charming than Lady Roth today. How very peculiar. Wu, because I can't really give you anything as a bonus for a natural 20, you can have an inspiration point.
Oh, thanks. Feel inspired.
Now a course must be plotted. The navigator is the only crew position that has no combat role. But in travel, it is perhaps the most important role. A miscalculation here, a wrongly identified landmark there, and suddenly you're days off course and surrounded by winged dinosaurs. Darwin.
Can I set course for winged dinosaurs?
Not just yet, you can't, but you do know where there are some. Darwin. Plotting a course with such obvious terrain as the Sword Coast makes it very difficult to get lost. But it is possible to slow your journey with a crappy zigzagging landmark hopping, changes in direction type route. So the better you roll, the more direct your route becomes. The worse you roll, you basically slow the route down by having to, plot between various points of reference. Excuse me. Remember, as well, time is of the essence, because after dark, shadows sweep across the landscape and obscure those landmarks. And in the shadows, there are things, Darwin. Things one might not wish to encounter whilst on an airship. Plotting the course.
I ain't got so far yet.
Last game, right at the end of it, I rolled a 20 to with my cartographer's tools to plot a course.
You did, and that's completely irrelevant. However,
Okay.
So the cartographer tools aren't irrelevant to this, but it isn't a cartographer tools role. It's a different role, but you get a bonus from having proficiency in cartographer's tools.
Okay.
The cartographer's tools, using them as they are, it's more for like making a map, which, by the way, is something you can do if you go to unexplored lands.
Yeah.
Now, this whole plotting of a course only takes up half of your day's time. So you have another half day to do whatever you wish. You can assist someone else. You can act as a rigger for half the day. You can toss it off and sleep like Uther wanted to. You can do anything you want with your other half day. But for the first half day, I would like you to make your navigation roll, which is a navigation airship proficiency roll, which you don't currently have. So for now, it is a survival roll, and you get a +2 from your cartographer's tools.
And
you also get a +2 from Woo.
Yeah!
A woo +2.
A Woo +2.
1+2!
Nice.
23.
Okay, so the DC you're trying to beat, by the way, varies depending on the terrain. So if it's like this, fairly flat, landmarky, coastal area that is, heavily populated, plenty of towns and villages, the DC is really low. But if you were, say, for example, out in the middle of a fucking desert, in the middle of nowhere, the DC would become higher because there's nothing to take points of reference from. And also the weather can affect it. If it's very cloudy sky, it raises the DC, things like that. So these are all things to be aware of, Darwin, as you're plotting your course. Remembering also that you're a druid, is all I'll say. But yeah, that's a great roll. You've plotted a very efficient course. You haven't lost any time. Next up, it is the riggers. The riggers must set the sails. In combat, riggers have dominion over the speed of the ship, raising and lowering the sails. They can assist the pilot to some extent. In travel, they have less to do. Generally, as the ship travels as fast as possible in one direction, in calm seas or skies, there's not that much for the riggers to do. The ropes can be set and left on a day like today, unless a change of course is called for. This process only takes an hour, leaving the riggers free for the rest of the day. However, the rigger can also choose to attend the ropes meticulously all day, and that will assist the pilot when they make their rolls. So, Dakal and Uther, you have a choice. You can either make one rigging proficiency check, which is a dexterity check for now. That's just 1 hour of the day, and then you've got the rest of the time to yourself. Or you can make an athletics or acrobatics check, which counts as a full day's work, and that benefits the pilot more. It's up to you.
I will do an athletic test.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I have.
Is there any advantage to us both doing this, Dave, or not?
Yep, you give greater. You give more assistance to the pilot, but on a very calm day like this, probably not so much.
So not so much today then.
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth you doing the other one where you just do an hour on a day like this. If it was stormy, then the more bonuses you can give to Tabitha, the better, because Tabitha's at the helm. So you want her to have as many bonuses as she can, or she's going to crash that ship. No pressure, Tabitha.
Did you put a +2 in, Hoofer?
Yeah,
The Woo +2.
You get your
know
Woo +2.
I don't even know how to do that.
We'll just add 2 on the end.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Unless I'm going to make a specific modifier called Woo +2. Let's add that in.
Woo +2.
How do we do that?
Okay, so... Okay, so Ducal and Darwin... Sorry, Darwin, you have half a day. Have a think about what you want to do with that. And Ducal, you have 7 hours, apart from that initial hour when you're... No, sorry, you said you were going to do the whole thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done athletics, yeah. I get a bonus to the pilot.
So, Uther, you have 7 hours journey that you can think about what you want to do.
I want to go for a nap, please.
Nap you may. All right, so that comes to Tabitha. Now, Tabitha, thanks to the skill of your crew with Woos +2 and Ducal giving you a +2, I think, and also getting a +2 from having an extra rigger. No other benefits from Uther because he just did the basics, but you get a total of +6 to your roll. So this is what all these other rolls are about, basically. They're all about stacking the bonuses on for Tabitha or whoever's at the helm. So in combat, Tabitha, or whoever has control of the ship, you have full control over the steering of the ship. And in travel mode, there's no real need to roll unless the wind is severe or worse. So today, when it's fair, you don't really need that +6, but you must always be present at the helm. You can also split shifts with someone else if you wanted to, but the more time you get at the helm, the better. But because today is such a calm day, Tabitha, that +6 doesn't get added onto your piloting roll because you don't need to make a piloting roll, but you can add it to your perception check as you enjoy the sights and the sounds and the smells of being aloft in the clouds and wandering slowly southwest towards Thornhold. So give me a perception check, please, and you get a +6 to this.
In perception mode. Yeah, just clicking up. Look at the 2 bubbles. 2 bubbles.
So
We get +6, that's 12.
12 total. Okay. We'll come back to that. It might be applicable to something later. It might not. And then, of course, there are other roles aboard the ship. That of gunner. But this ship has no guns. Currently. And that of carpenter. Someone who can repair the ship. But, of course, we don't have a carpenter. And, of course, the role of lookout.
I'll take the night watch. I'll take the night watch because
there will be no night watch. The ship does not sail at night.
Is it not?
No, absolutely not. For reasons that we'll cover. So in combat,
Probably the worst lookout ever because I can't really see that well in daylight.
I know. This is why I think it's fantastic that you've gone up there. In combat, the lookout rolls initiative. So ship combat is different in that you roll initiative each turn. So that's your primary job each turn, Johnny, is to roll initiative for the ship. You can also grant bonuses in combat based on your observational skills. But in travel, Your job is to keep a lookout for danger, to call out landmarks to the navigator and pilot, as determined, of course, by the navigator. And you also assist in performing minor course corrections for the pilot. And due to your lofty position, you gain a +2 to your perception checks. You also gain a +2 from Woo's excellent work as a first mate. So you get a +4 total. And because I'm that sort of guy, the lookout also determines if there is an encounter during travel. So as well as me putting all the blame for the weather on you guys, I'm putting all the blame for any violence that occurs on the ship on Johnny. Okay? Let's make that very clear. Every time there is a fight on this ship, it's Johnny's fault.
Just on that point, I'm actually happy to assume that responsibility.
Oh, that's good, because I'd just also like to point out you are about 1,000 to 2,000 feet up at all times when you're traveling, unless you tell me otherwise. Just remember that, in case somebody gets knocked overboard. You know, life rafts aren't really that big an issue at 1,500 feet. So, Johnny, I would like you please to make a perception check. You get your +2 bonus for your lofty precision. You also get a +2 from Woo. Is Johnny frozen, or is he just been really still?
Yeah, inflatable Woo.
Do we have time for a long rest, Dave?
You get a long rest at the end of today. A long rest basically is once every 24 hours, and obviously you've had one. We're only like an hour or two after midday at the moment. So the idea is you'll get to the town you're going to stop at for the night, and that's where your long rest will be.
Okay, I'll take my short rest then.
You can take a short rest. Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to take a short rest, by all means do so. I think you maybe took one. You took one before the hobgoblins, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'll do one on Moxie's behalf because she's a bit low on the old hit points.
I can't have one, can I? Because I'm driving.
Yeah, it's still so. A short rest is still a short rest as long as it's not like particularly energetic action. So you can read a book, you can go for a walk around, you can do crafting, things like that. So you could fly a ship as long as you're not running around up and down the rigging on the ship. That still counts as a short rest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd like to be short rest.
But over this 7-hour period, you all would get a chance for short rest. So if you want to have a short rest, by all means do.
Getting you some health back. There you go. So you got a total of 10 back. You can max out your health.
Okay, so
Synchronized.
Voldron, I would like you please to make your perception check for while you're up in the crow's nest. Also, actually, yeah, just a perception check with a +4, please, Johnny.
Will that be added on automatically?
Yeah, so just make your perception check and then we add 4 to it after. Is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, but you get that as a freebie list.
So 23.
Is it?
You're at disadvantage, aren't you?
Is it modified? Yeah. So it'll be less.
So it's 15. That's your lowest.
You
still get a +4 to that, so that's 19.
Oh, actually,
it's not bad.
Squinting into the sun as you are. One thing you do notice, Voldemort, up here,
here's all your list of spells.
Is there is another pair of eyes up here with you. You notice after about the first hour or so that
you just click the information button, it'll bring up
that there is a hawk sitting right atop the main mast. You're in the basket, maybe 10 feet down. There's a hawk sitting up there, peeking around with you, and you recognise this hawk. You saw Lady Roth talking to it. When you first met her to board the ship, she was talking to this hawk. It's definitely the same hawk because it's got a little collar on it with a little bell. I would also like you, as I said, you're responsible for any encounters, Johnny. So could you roll a d20, please?
Is there a D20? Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the moment there. D20. Roll. There you go. 5.
Okay.
We encounter some seagulls.
You don't really encounter anything.
Many miles away.
No, it was on 10, I think.
I'm sure I saw a
Never
seagull.
Okay,
At least
so
one.
So after the first sort of 30 minutes or so of flying, while Lady Roth's still touring the ship with Wu, those rolls basically are to cover the entirety of the journey. But we're going to spend a bit of time now on the ship. So at some point, maybe 20, 30 minutes into the journey, Lady Roth speaks to you all, and you hear it in your mind with her telepathy that she has. She says, "So, how was Thunder Tree? Did you find what you were looking for?"
Yeah. That's all I'm
Yes.
going to say.
We found a bit of trouble. That's what we found.
Trouble? What sort?
Demonic trees?
Yeah. Yes. The leafy kind.
Demonic trees?
Yes.
Thorny kind.
Demonic trees. You know. Don't worry, we've kept a bit of it.
It appeared to be a gold fire tree. Indeed.
And we also met some
Repair the ship with
hobgoblins
it. What
who
could
seemed to know
possibly
you by
go wrong?
name.
What was that?
So we also met some hobgoblins.
Oh, yeah.
He seemed
We
to know
did.
Luciana by name.
Okay, so in response to Darwin mentioning the Gulfires tree,
Oh, sorry, I missed.
she says, sorry, I'll come back to what Al said as well, by the way.
I didn't hear James. Sorry, I've lost my audio.
I didn't hear James.
I definitely did. So
Just say something for me to James, please.
Something.
Thank you, sir.
okay, in response to Darwin, she says, a Gulfires tree? I'm not familiar with that species.
A fell tree from a dark realm.
Oh, I thought you maybe meant like, a specific breed of tree. You mean it's something wrong, something bad?
I will recount the tale of the tree that you mentioned.
She listens to you quite carefully as you tell the tale of this vampiric tree. And she seems to be taking it all in. She's nodding sagely at certain moments. Says, "It's quite interesting. I might have to look into this when we get to Candlekeep. The undead, they've always filled me with simultaneous fear and revulsion, but also a level of intrigue. I might see if Sharwin knows anything about that."
The fell presence of the tree is known to infect the area around it, and it was a strange dimensional realm.
Ah, I wonder if there's more than one thing at play here then. Thunder
There
Tree.
were many tree flies surrounding it. Perhaps
Yes, I wondered if you might encounter.
something to do with it.
I wonder if you might encounter something like that. You see, the Thunder Tree is a region of land that has fallen foul of something called post-spell plague trauma exposure, or PTSE. There are places in the world where the magical fallout from the destruction of the weave coalesced. Wild magic has seeped into the very earth and stones. Thunder Tree is one such place. There are many others. It's possible that the evil tree, as you say, was drawn to it, just as much as it's possible that the evil tree is a result of that place. It could be either.
What about
Yeah, I'll
stake?
probably pull the stake out and say, "What do you make of this?"
It grew from that.
Well,
Moxie has his lips. Could we make them talk through some arcane sorcery?
I say attach them to the ship.
I mean, no.
I agree with that plan,
I am
Woo.
not attaching evil tree lips to my blessed ship. No, but
What's the name? What's the name of this? What's the name of this ship? We could call it the Tree Lips.
Emmeranil.
The story goes that the stake was infected by the vampire's blood and grew into a Goldfire tree. So if that's true, I wouldn't want it to infect the wood of the.
A vampiric ship. That would be
That'd be cool.
delightful.
Vampire ship.
That'd be really good.
It's all well and good until you wake up in the middle of the night and your bunk bed's draining your blood.
Yes. Will it make the tree navigate better? The ship navigate better? If it does, I'm up for it.
Navigate towards innocent virgins in villages, probably. That's about it. But
Ideal.
she reaches to take the stake from you, Darwin. Says, "May I?"
Yes.
Okay. She takes the stake. She says, "Oh, this is quite rare." See what I did there? Rare steak.
There's no mistaking.
Wah, 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 wah.
Very good, Lady Roth. Very good.
It is still there is still a slight bit of staining to the spike of this steak as well, and she's going to hang on. I need to change her spell slots because she's used one of those. She's used one of those.
Yes, it's ancient vampire blood staining. It's a new shade they brought out. It's fence panels, anything you can think of. We could even send the ship with the same shade.
I'd like to name it
wholesale.
After Death.
Call it what?
After Death.
She says to you, do you mind if I borrow this for a while, Darwin, just to conduct a little study on it, see if I can learn anything from it?
It's very sharp, my lady. You might want to smooth it off a little.
Yes. Be careful with it, lest it's still a fell object.
Of course. This isn't my first rodeo.
Okay.
And at various points of the day, you see her. She returns to her cabin. You can see she doesn't hide what she's doing. You can see her through the windows. She's sitting at the table with her eyes closed, hands on the table either side of the stake. And the first time she does this, you can see like faint motes of arcane residue is the best way to describe it, like silvery gold flecks spilling out from her onto this stake. Later on, she returns to you all and says, "Yes, this is quite a dark item, Darwin. There's some sort of aura of necromantic magic about it. I believe it could be used as a weapon. However, I'm not sure it would be wise to do so."
Unless it's against a vampire.
I mean,
That stake's too high.
good one, Will. Good one. Yes, they are. I mean, I'm not going to use words like cursed, but I would always be very wary of any magical item that gives off an aura of evil, which this definitely does. It might just be a side effect of having been staked through a vampire tree, or it could be something darker. It could be some essence of that creature is now within the stake. I'd have to spend a bit more time getting to the bottom of exactly what it is that is at the heart of this stake, but I mean, it's your stake, Darwin. It's up to you.
Wood, my lady. Wood.
Yes. What? No. It's up to you, Darwin. You can have it back, or if you'd like me to keep hold of it for a while, I can learn a bit more of it. I do have in the cargo hold a warded chamber for not exactly this, obviously, but for this sort of thing.
By all means, keep hold of it and divine what you can.
Right. Well, I'll pop it back below decks in the secure chamber for now. But yes, I'll have a
Could
look
it have been
tonight.
planted there?
Sorry?
Could it have been planted?
It's quite possible someone. I don't see how it could accidentally have ended up there. Either someone planted it there intentionally, or the tree made its way there. Surely.
Perhaps the tree was drawn to it. I don't know.
Well, possibly, but then why would the tree have staked itself?
Well,
Did it by mistake?
Good one, Tabitha. Oh,
Yes.
keep the puns going. Keep them going. Top-notch punnage.
Valdrin slaps his thigh at that one. That was good.
I'm going to start a steak tally. I'm going to add on to the board now a pun tally. I think that's got to be done.
It's definitely got to be done.
So what was the? Someone said something about hobgoblins as well. Uther said something about the hobgoblins. Sorry, before we cover the hobgoblins, anyone else want to say anything else about the stake or the trees or anything else to do with Thunder Tree?
I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, I think it's not.
We haven't covered everything.
Oh, wait 1 second. There was the guardian with the old man and the
I don't think we
kids.
necessarily need to tell her all that, do we? Do we?
Oh well, Wu's just innocently opened his mouth.
Okay.
Because that's the so naive guy he is. Sorry, but I have to do it. I've just blurted it out and had to hold my lips.
Exactly what is Wu saying?
Wu goes, what about the guardian in the dinner table? The children won't look like us. And then Uther pipes up and I hold my mouth shut, like, speak
What?
no evil.
I gave a crossbow to my younger self.
Guardian. It's not like you to give weapons to children. The Guardian.
If I can do it in every game, then I'm winning.
The Guardian.
Yeah,
of
so-
children. What?
Some kind of sentinel. He told us we had to save the world. Terrible pressure.
Told us
Right.
exactly how to do it as well, but I interrupted. Oh well.
I mean, he said something terribly important. Voltron, he wouldn't shut the fuck up, and I didn't catch it.
Yeah, we couldn't hear the end of it, to be honest.
I'm sure it was important, though.
It might be majorly life-changing, but...
Critical
Sorry.
information.
Let me get
Not
this straight.
anymore.
Let me get this straight. An old man called
Surrounded by children.
Sentinel, surrounded by children, told you had to save the world.
Yeah.
In a word. Yeah, fine. I think so.
Okay, I mean, that wouldn't be the strangest thing I'd ever seen. I'll start by saying that. But also, I would like to remind you of what I just said about PTSE. Post-spell plague trauma exposure. So don't take this the wrong way, but I think you might have had...
A funny turn.
Yes, that's a polite way of putting it, Valdron. The magic that fell from the sky when the spell plague happened, it gets into these places. It can cause all sorts of things to happen. It can take the memories or desires or wants of one person and make them visible to all. So I'm not saying it didn't happen because, like I say, stranger things have happened. But what is possible and what you have to consider is what you saw was something other than real. It could be an echo in time, a tear between realms or worlds, a trick of some nefarious character pulling shenanigans. It could even be a deep-seated fantasy of one of the seven of you brought to life. And don't mistake me. I'm not saying that old men and children are your fantasies. I'm saying the hero complex. You understand what I'm getting at? You know, the desire to be a hero and save the world could have perhaps caused one of you to cause such a story to take on a more realistic bent, I suppose.
No, couldn't possibly be that.
No. I mean, we're already catching this crown of Neverwinter. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous as it is.
We
so
found
this
a
just fits
vampire.
in neatly alongside it, right?
Yeah, just maybe it was a mass hallucination, like a bit of hysteria after being in contact with that evil tree. Maybe it was a spell cast by the evil tree. Who knows?
I mean, let's not forget as well that it's not so long back that you all lost a couple of days' time as well.
Yes, we did. Oh well.
And I'm still not entirely sure what caused that. It's a little peculiar.
I'm going to blame the evil tree.
It's
With its
again,
death,
it's possible.
we've sorted it. We've solved that little problem. It shouldn't happen again.
It's definitely a possibility that the evil tree is responsible. The problem that we have here is that we are working to a time constraint. We need to find the crown and get back in time for the spring equinox, the royal wedding. If we had all the time in the world, we could hang around in Thunder Tree, do a little bit more investigation. But perhaps later, perhaps after the crown's been found, we can pop back there, maybe get to the bottom of what's been going on there.
We can definitely rush around in this new place and plane, don't we? Feywilds. You take it easy. You drink tea, and then the nothing comes and takes all away from us. Even the stupid bat.
But in the Feywild, one could argue one has considerably more time, although sometimes less. Did you just reference Labyrinth?
I did.
No, never ending stories. Never ending stories.
stories.
Never ending
Yeah.
story. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't hold on to him. Even the stupid bat.
Well, I'm going to reference Labyrinth with my David Bowie impression. Anyway. Then, of course, anyone else want to talk about Sentinel or anything else in the village?
I didn't want to talk about Sentinel in the first place.
But now you have.
It's like kind of worms.
Loose woos.
Can of worms. Loose woos, thick ships.
Loose woos, giant poos.
Number 2 was
God. Remove 10 points. You're at disadvantage now, Dave.
I'm always at disadvantage, Johnny, constantly.
It's alright. Loose poos, giant poos coming to diner near yous.
Oh no.
That's how we're going to do it.
Oh no. You're now at disadvantage, Dave. I'm sorry.
Good. Good. I need it.
Let's end the game there.
And then the world exploded.
Rocks fall.
Mission accomplished. Side quest complete.
You failed to save the world.
So you were going to bring up the hobgoblins, right? Uther?
I mentioned that the hobgoblins we were fighting down there seemed to know her by name.
Yes, I saw them.
We tricked them. We tricked them
some
into
of
thinking
that.
that I was Lady Roth.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
to be honest,
and
you might have actually tricked them. Hobgoblins are smart, but they're not very good at differentiating between humans. They
They mentioned about capturing you and also leaving Valdrin and Uther alive.
Yes, that's not what happened. But Lady Roth doesn't say that. See, the thing is, hobgoblins, they're racist. They think all humans look alike. They wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between myself and Uther. I mean, Valdrin, I imagine they maybe did. But the thing is, you'll kind of get used to them after a while. It's not my first rodeo with them. You see.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was just going to say, how do they know you? Why are they chasing you? Why are they trying to get on board your ship?
Who knows? So, to be honest, I'm surprised it took them that long to show up. They're a mercenary group. They have a camp near Neverwinter. They're called the League of Blades, I believe. They're sellswords, sell their blades to the highest bidder. After the Goblin War, many hobgoblins chose to distance themselves from other greenskins, as the orcs had decades earlier. But they didn't all attempt to ingratiate themselves into human society like the orcs did. Many of them formed roving bands of mercenaries for hire. The League of Blades is one such band. They're based around these parts. They sometimes work as caravan guards and such like. I suspect they were going to try and steal my ship. They might have been here for revenge. I might have pissed off their boss, whoever their boss is, whoever they're working for. They might have, there could be 1,000 reasons why they're looking for me. I mean, during the Goblin War, I slew countless goblins. It could be something as simple as revenge. I don't know.
Maybe they're just looking to be hired. I don't know. We'll never know.
Anyway,
The only good goblin is a dead goblin.
Precisely. I forgot, Uther, you're old enough. Did you participate in the Goblin War?
That is not very nice, Uther. I do not agree with that sentiment.
You're a hoblin, not
You're
a
a
goblin.
hoblin. It's not the same at
No,
all.
it's
They're
not.
totally
It's
different.
absolutely not.
You're very different to those goblins.
I have not heard a single report of you, Woo, pissing or shitting in anyone's boots.
Well, it's just that I'm far too careful to get caught.
Oh, perhaps. I never thought of that. Maybe you're a much more stealthy shitter. I didn't realise. Unlike your wife, Hayden.
Maybe they were actually
My dad used to shit in my mum's shoes. I think it was a sign of dominance.
Was your dad a goblin or a halfling?
He was a goblin.
Oh, right. Okay, just clarify that.
Well, it was sort of like, yeah, it was a goblin and my mother was a halfling. She liked his nose.
Yes, I mean, you get no judgment from me. I'm a modern woman. I help Drow, I'm not here to pass judgment on other races interbreeding.
Oh, what's a drow?
Points at Voldren. That is.
I'll take a bow.
Did you just think he was an African elf?
Where? Sorry, I'm not from this realm. You played so many tricks on me.
But yes,
there's a lot of people like these pig quads here.
Yes, the humans are the most common, like myself. But yes, Darwin, you don't find many like Darwin. Tabitha, again, rare. You will see a few more of Tabitha's people around than you do Darwin's or Moxie's. Moxie especially. Don't see many of her kind. She's going to draw some attention of that, you can be sure. But yes, myself, Uther, Dukal as well. We are the most common species of these lands.
Well, have you ever heard of any hoblins before?
Not personally, no.
I wonder if my village is still around. Anyway, Woo drifts off while you get on with the game.
So yes, I'm afraid those hobgoblins, I honestly think they might be looking for me. Why, I wouldn't know without interrogating one. But next time they show up, maybe just give me a shout or point them in my direction. You shouldn't get involved with them. I mean, at the end of the day, they work for money. But if you start killing them in droves, they're going to, take umbrage with yourselves as well as me. You might want to keep your hands clean of that.
Yeah, good posthumous advice there. Thank you, Leo.
Well, I mean, I was watching. You seem to be handling yourselves.
Got a bit crispy.
Easy.
They got spells and things.
Yes, a lot of things do. It's like magic's returned to the land after a little gap, but
yes, quite alarming.
Anyone else want to talk to Lady Roth or each other about anything before we continue the journey?
Yeah, I want to make some tea at some point in time, meditate, and then do something relaxing with Woo after he finishes his day. So I was going to wind it up.
I mean, there will be an evening time as well if you wanted to save something for the evening time. It's up to you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I mean, no, I'm saying you can do it.
Well, it depends what everybody else is doing.
So, yeah, there is the Darwin and Dukal both have some time. So, Darwin and Uther have some time if there's anything specific. Uther said he was going to nap. Darwin, you only used half a day to plot the course. If there's anything else you want to do as part of during the journey? You've basically got half a day of free time compared to everyone else.
Help Moxie with the cooking.
Okay. Okay,
and I'll help Tabitha navigate as well.
Okay, so what I'm going to do... So you've got, like, basically 4 hours. Do you want to split it 50-50?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm keeping a running tally of how long each of you spend in each crew position. To basically see how long and how well you learn how to do that position. At which point you will gain a new skill. So, as far as I'm concerned, Darwin, you've spent 4 hours navigating, 2 hours working as assistant bosun, and 2 hours being an assistant pilot with Tabitha. Maybe even spelling her off while she gets a bite to eat, goes for a poo, that sort of thing. There's a running theme tonight. I feel like I've set a tone.
It's a shit theme.
I feel like I've set a tone of filth that can't be backed away from now. Okay, so that's going to be the most of the journey, unless anyone has anything specific they want to do or say or to each other or whatever. No,
Keep on moving.
Okay,
Keep on moving.
then I will go for a very quick wee, and then we will get to Thornhold.
Interesting. I wonder when we're going to get our first ship's combat.
I'm sure there'll never be any combat on board the ship. I'm sure that'll never happen.
I would want to attack the ship with a flying creature if I was a GM.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence that he's made a battle map for it and
Yeah, you know.
an elaborate system of rules. So. But no, I'm
I don't know.
I'm sure it's on the. I'm sure it's in the post, mate. Don't worry about that.
I've nearly fleshed out the whole entirety of the first stage of the game, which is good. Maps and everything.
Cool.
Today, just about that. Spent all day doing it.
Sounds like you got the creative bite again. You know.
I've had an idea, and it just. It's quite an easy sort of set of missions, really, because you're out there to sabotage stuff. Just put items and stuff in, or you bring items in, and you know what I mean. And you go and sabotage the right areas, and not to try to get caught or get out or cause chaos. It's up to you, like how you're going to run your missions. That's why I've kind of made it a little bit freeform around the buildings and stuff. So yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, it should be good. Looking forward to it.
Right. And we lost Jamie and Alison for a moment. Okie dokie. Let me find. Oh no, what have I done? There we go.
I have made my own. After all the spiel about it, I have made my own counters, but they're in the same position with the weapons which are on the profile. So, but if I was being subscribed to Hero Forge, if I can't enjoy making my own characters.
I mean, I use Hero Forge.
I've done it with peasants.
I do it
just
for.
Forget.
I use it for special characters. I use it for like major villains, characters, NPCs that, for example, Lucy and things like that. But for all the general fucking plebs, I don't waste my time because it's a lot of effort to put into something that's going to die in one turn.
Yeah, I've not done it for plebs, but I've just done it for like opposing forces. Because you've only got to make about 3 models: an archer, spearman, and something. And it's really fast to do when you're all wearing the same armor and the same color scheme.
I mean, I'm not gonna criticize you for that, Hayden, because I am the sort of person who literally will make the same model in multiple outfits.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I did have all the guys set in a different pose, like 3 poses of each spearman, if you know what I mean, just to mix it up when you're down the field, when you're looking down the map. But I've moved it on to the same one, so it's just one model now. You'll see for them, easy recognisable after you've been playing a game a while.
I don't think I've put it in this game, but in one of the games that Lucy's in, Lucy has 4 different outfits. One is adventuring clothes, one is everyday clothes. One is slutty hot pants for the bar, and one is her mage armor, which is her dress. And the slutty hot pants thing came about because somebody told her hot pants were a required item of clothing in a certain bar. And so she got herself a pair of hot pants, believing, that you had to wear them in this bar, and then wondered why everyone was staring at her. She's very naive, young Lucy. She's not like this Lucy. Do you like that? I think that's the first time I've cross-referenced your D&D game in my game with the Goblin War reference there.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't dwell on it too much because mine's in a completely different world to this one.
Yeah, I know it is. Yeah.
Well, so that's why Ufa didn't really respond to that one. So, but yeah, I did have a little wry smile at that. So
I'm gonna have to write in a Goblin War now at some point in history. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but Lucy is a veteran of the Dragon War, but now she's also a veteran of the Goblin War, which I kind of accidentally made up this afternoon. I'll just wait for James and Alison, and off we go. Where have they gone? Have they both gone to have a poo, do you think? Both at the same time?
In opposite toilets.
people don't do that, Dave.
Maybe not in your house.
Well, they don't in mine.
Well, you could sit back to back and do the chair between you.
You just need
just have enough space to hit the bowl, couldn't you?
You just need a longer bowl. Like if you get two bowls,
or an elaborate system of shoots.
I wonder if I'll ever find a woman that wants
in fact,
loves me enough to try that.
I've seen a double toilet. Hang on. Let me.
Is that what you call double dropping?
Yeah, the double drop.
Yeah.
No, I've seen multiple uses of. I've seen multiple versions of the double toilet. Let me find it. Here we go. Here's one. Posting in Discord for you because this is the tone of tonight's game. There's one double toilet I've seen.
Oh shit.
There's another one as well where it's like stacked. I'm sure it's Japanese. Oh, surprisingly.
My dad's bought a toilet that washes his bum for him.
B-Day. Child built-in B-Day.
No, it's like a toilet washes your bum at the same time.
You can get a combo one these days, can't you?
Yeah, it's...
I suspect it's one of them things that after you've had it, you probably think,
yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with that,
Well,
if I came up to you and wiped some shit on your arm, you probably wouldn't just wipe it off with a tissue, would you? You'd probably wipe it off with a bit of...
That's true.
After you'd knocked me out,
I'd wipe it on you.
After you'd knocked me out or whatever, but you know what I mean? It's like...
No, I'd just put it down. Wipe it on your face. That's how I would... That's the sort of sadistic stuff I'd have to do back for revenge. I'd be like, no, you can have it on your cheek, Helen.
I don't know. I want to backtrack. I want to backtrack.
You put water there, wouldn't you, mate? So
I want to.
Don't be a cunt if you join your game, Aiden. You have to be at least pretend to be nice.
Honestly, Alan, I wouldn't do anything like that to you. I wouldn't ever do it.
The point I'm trying to make is that you'd kind of wash it off, mate. You wouldn't just wipe it off, would you? So,
well, hang on a minute.
To be honest, I would let it dry first. And then scrape it off and then wash it because once it's dry,
surely it depends how big it was.
It won't smear the clothes as much, will it? It's like
it wouldn't be as big as Liz's, I don't think.
No, obviously not. I want to go back to the beginning of this conversation. I want to know why Alan is saying that Hayden's been a cunt because Hayden said he's going to wipe it on you. He's the cunt, apparently. Hayden's the cunt. But Alan, you're the one that said you were going to shit on him first. And you were like, if I shit on you...
No. It was a hypothetical scenario.
Why are we all shitting on each other?
You're the one who
started
it.
Please do him again.
I didn't start it. Fucking... it wasn't me, it was Liz.
First game of my game and you be all throwing shit at each other in themselves.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to be throwing shit around as a goblin, but
I mean, that is
I am going to throw around shit as a goblin.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
I think me and you, Dave, could have a lot of fun playing a pair of goblins.
I think it's
our inner nature.
There's going to come a point. There's going to come a point where Dave's just like, fucking Jesus Christ. he likes a laugh as much as anyone, but when me and you start doing that, do you remember Mum back in the cave?
I don't think he's remotely prepared.
He's not. I've tried to warn him, but he won't listen. Do you remember that corner of the cave where we used to keep all the poo?
Into that corner of the cob in the cave. I don't know.
Right, anyway,
But yeah,
anyway, let's stop this before it descends to complete madness. Whew, let's put you back on the right map for a start. I'm getting a bit giddy.
Talking about caves does that, you know.
Caves and poos, man. That's all my life's about these days.
Gets the blood flowing.
Oh, hello. Are you joining us?
Join us.
Alan says you have to. He's whispering like a demon in my ear.
Join us.
He's doing it again. Okay. All right. So, by the way, I might have done a really good impression of you. I might not have done a really good impression of you. As the sun begins to wait. Why is that not working? There we go. As the sun begins to dip towards the western horizon, and with the calming waves of the Sea of Swords gently lapping the shore several hundred feet beneath you, you spy a fortress of plain grey stone standing atop a hill. The western edge of the fortress drops steeply away into a seaside cliff. That's wrong, it's the southern edge, but never mind. Thornhold. A central keep with 2 towers surrounded by an exterior wall of wood and plaster. A number of small caravan wagons and carts can be seen parked up within the walls, and mules and oxen, a handful of tents. There's also a number of tents outside the walls, and people milling about them. And you see all heads turn to stare at the Emerald as it slides gracefully through the sky. Atop the towers and also on the keep of Thornhold, you can see a dozen or so dwarves and humans mixed, manning heavy ballista atop the walls, and they watch the skies and they swing their massive weapons. Jesus, who wrote this? They swing their massive ballista. No, they swing their ballista around to track
Is this written
the
by
approaching
AI?
ship. No, I don't know what was going on here. Jesus, I must have been a bit frisky when I wrote this. Lady Roth moves to the helm to assist you, Tabitha, and she closes her eyes for a few moments. And then the dwarves manning the ballista seem to relax as one. Stop training the weapons on the ship. And those of you looking over the edge, for example, Voldron, you can see there is one of the dwarves moving between each ballista crew, pointing at the ship, saying a few words to the ballista crew, and then the ballista stops tracking you.
Very kind of it.
Lady Roth gently takes the helm from you, Tabitha, and says, "Thank you, Tabitha, I'll take it from here." And she takes control of the ship with her mind, lowering the ship down towards the keep, descending towards one of the 2 towers, before instructing those of you working as riggers to furl the sails and to drop the anchor. And the glowing green orb, tethered to the ship by this thick chain, lands on the roof of one of the towers with a thump, and then begins to retract, pulling the vessel down towards the tower. And then, when it comes to a stop, Lady Roth kicks the coiled rope ladder over the edge of the ship and goes to clamber down. And she says to you, you can sleep aboard if you like, or don't, entirely up to you, but I doubt you'll find much comfort here. There's no inn or such like. There's not much here, truth be told, not much to see. There's usually a few merchants, but I doubt if they'd sell much of interest to you. I just need to have a quick word with Hronwyn, the leader of this place. He'd be furious with me if I didn't say hello. You know what dwarves can be like. And I'll be retiring to my cabin for the night. We weigh anchor at first light. And I'd be careful if I were you, Voldron. The dwarves of Thornhold are not particularly fond of drow for obvious reasons. I can disguise
I'm not particularly fond of dwarves. This stunts a little.
Yes, but you're significantly outnumbered. I can disguise you if you'd like, and woo too, to avoid any unpleasantness.
Why not? Couldn't hurt.
Woo?
Did you just want to paint me pink? Because I look like a half and bottom green.
I mean, that's literally what I'll do. I'll just change your skin colour. I won't make a big deal of it.
Oh, I was going to say we could paint it on, but okay.
Do you
Yeah.
have some pink paint, Woo? Do you have some
Oh,
flesh
buy
colored
some.
paint?
I will buy some in the town. Yes,
This-
please.
It's not a town.
I will.
but,
I will sneak into the town or sneak into the merchants and see if I can purchase some pink paint for
I
you,
mean,
Woo.
if I disguise you, you won't have to sneak. You can just walk down there.
Yes, but I think he really wants pink paint.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll disguise. you
I'm
both.
going. I'm going. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Lady Ralph. I understand now. Please cast your magics on me, and I'm going to go for a quick conversation with Voldron.
Let's go shopping.
Out of earshot. Sorry.
Okay, as Lady Roth descends down the ladder, she just touches Wu and Voldron and casts seeming on you both. So you just look a little different. She doesn't do anything particularly dramatic that would, raise suspicion. She literally just makes Wu's green skin more of a pinkish human skin tone, and the same with you, Voldron. You stop being a very black-skinned drow and you look a lot more like a wood elf, basically. And she just disappears on her way, and off she goes. And she heads down over the side of the ship, down a ladder, into Thornhold. It's not really a town, it's literally more like a keep on the edge of this mere of dead men, as it's called. She heads off towards the keep, and below you on the walls of this fortress, you can see the dwarves and humans wearing two distinct uniforms. The dwarves are wearing one uniform, the humans are wearing another. And those of you native to the region, which is Dukal and Uther, you would recognise immediately that the dwarves wear the colours and crests of Gauntlgrim, a dwarven settlement northeast of Neverwinter, and the humans are all wearing the colours of Waterdeep, the city of splendours, which is about 200 miles southeast of your position. And more interestingly, that you can see from up here on the ship, outside the perimeter wall of Thornhold, there is a camp that you saw as you approached. Less than a dozen quite large tents, and they're made from crude animal hide. And milling about in the camp, there are maybe 24 figures wearing orange and blue uniforms with chain and plate armour over the top. Tall creatures, humanoid, but with green or reddish skin. Hobgoblins, wearing the same uniforms as those you encountered previously.
What?
They're just mercs, aren't they? Let's not worry about those.
Yeah, you've been told they're mercs. So here you go. Here's Thornhold.
Should we wear those
outside
hobgoblin?
the hold.
Woo, do you think we should wear those hobgoblin tabards that we looted? Pretend to be. I'm joking.
It would be funny, but I think we will get in trouble, Siegfried. But on about trouble, shall we do some shopping? I used to have a little bit of a naughty past before I got into Moncard.
A naughty past? What do you mean, Woo?
Oh, I got in all sorts of trouble. Doing jobs for the wrong crowd.
That's a shame.
Well, you'll be all right with me. I won't lead you. And he just turns around
Okay.
with an evil look on his face under his cloak. Follow me.
No shitting in anyone's shoes, Will.
I told you, it's not my tradition.
I'm taking no chances, bro.
Loose woos to be poos.
Loose woos do big. So yeah, I've given you the map. I've given you a map of Thornhold, and a little uncharacteristically, I haven't put any dynamic lighting on it. I haven't obscured anything because I kind of did this a bit last minute. But this is Thornhold. So I'm just going to give you a quick guided tour of what you see. So it's getting to be late evening. It's getting on for maybe 7 p.m. The sun is dipping down towards the west. What you can see, this, by the way, over here, this is where you guys currently are. This set of stairs here leads up to the top of this tower, and that's where Enemaril is. You can see the shadow. I'd like to point out this detail to you unnecessarily. The shadow of Enemaril is there. I'd like you all to appreciate the levels I've gone to for realism. So there are on this sort of bow-shaped defensive wall. There are humans standing to the west, dwarfs standing to the east. The buildings to the west are decorated with symbols that Voldron and Dukal would recognise as being crests of Waterdeep. The buildings to the east are decorated with crests of Gauntlegrim, which is a dwarven mining city, recovered about 100 years ago from some quite evil, sinister forces. There is the smell of hot metal in the air in the ring of a blacksmith's hammer coming from over here. Sort of northeast of where you are. And you wouldn't be able to see from where you are, but you could by walking around. There is a small merchant's camp here, maybe half a dozen people. And then there is the keep itself, which is this large building in the southern central part. At the doors here, there are two quite large, for their species, men. One is human, one is a dwarf, and their armour is a little bit more ornate than the others you see on the gates. You think they might be ceremonial. And they stand to attention guarding this double door here, which is where you also saw Lucy head. So with that said, it's over to you guys. You can do whatever you want. If you've got any questions about the place, please ask.
Why does it look like a uterus?
Thank you! Thank you! I'm so glad somebody noticed that, because when I found this map, I was like, that looks like a uterus. And I looked in the comment section of Reddit where I stole it from, and the first comment was, why does it look like a uterus? So I'm really glad that you've also noticed that. Wait until you see Candlekeep Tower. But yeah, it does actually, absolutely, doesn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the first thing I said to James when it came on the screen, and I showed him a picture of the uterus. He agreed.
I like how you had to show James a picture of the uterus.
Yeah, well,
James, I imagine James is like a fucking. James is like, are you to what?
I didn't show you mine.
Thanks for that.
Oh right. Anyway, so let's do what we want to do.
Rapping 13 frames per second, looking at this uterus.
So yeah, you don't have to move. You're not in turn order. You can literally go where you want to go and tell me what you want to do, or do nothing and go back to the ship and sleep if you wish.
Where's exploring?
Well, it said there was a couple of shops. There's like a merchant area. There's a blacksmith area.
Yeah, the blacksmith's here. The blacksmith's there, and the merchants are here camping overnight. So what you've learnt about Thornhold is basically it's not a town. It's like a fortress that is used as a stopover for travelling merchants. Merchants travelling south from Neverwinter or north from Waterdeep.
I'm going to browse around the merchants.
Okay, put yourself where you'd like to be.
I'm find myself. Will you zoom in on him?
Yeah, hang on. Woo, you are there.
Thank you. I see him now. Just gone everywhere but over our tokens.
Yeah, standard.
Merchants down here.
Is this a bar?
No, that is basically just a wooden building with a door and a window. Would you be able to read? Yes, you probably would be able to read common. And there's a sign above the door that says officers only.
Okay.
And that is the
I'm
blacksmith.
going to go. Thanks, Dave. I'll let everybody else move first, but
Yeah.
my first port of call is blacksmith.
Yeah, no worries. I'll get where
Yep.
everyone's going, and then I'll go around each person and deal with them. So, who have we got moved over there? Everything's gone a bit squirrely. What's going on? Tabitha has gone over to the merchants. Okay, anyone else? Uther's over there as well.
What's this area, Dave? That's the barracks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's basically there's a number of archers on the wall looking out, mainly watching the skies. You noticed as you arrived, and here, if you go in there, which you can, it's free and open for you to go in. You pass by that room, you can hear a lot of Zeds being fucking had. It sounds like there's more guards in there sleeping.
I want to go to the wall and have a look at this hobgoblin camp.
Okay, cool.
Have a chat with some dwarves on the wall.
All right. Ducal's gone over to the merchants. And Voldron. What are you doing, Voldron? I can't hear you, Johnny. Don't know why. Can anyone else hear Johnny?
No. Okay.
No, pardon me.
Back in a sec.
What's that, Johnny speak?
Hey, Johnny.
Can you hear me now?
Here we
Yes.
go.
Hey now.
No.
There you go. Okay, I'm going over to the blacksmiths.
I'm back. Have we got Voldron back?
Yeah.
No, he was.
I can't hear him.
No, he was. I could hear him for a moment, and then it's gone again by the sounds of it. So, but it was working. Sorry, Johnny. It was working just fine, and now I've lost you again.
Have you tried disconnecting and reconnecting from the server? Because
Aye.
that seems to work for Al. Although it's the other
But
way
no,
around Al.
for me, I lose other people's audio. I don't tend to lose my own audio.
Yeah, let me just. I don't think it's me. It doesn't. Isn't normally me.
I'll say it was.
It's not
Well,
me.
See, it's at Johnny's end. He got it fixed, and then it's. Hey, Johnny.
And the thieves here.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, Johnny.
You're very,
Hello.
very quiet, but I can hear you.
Alright, hang on a second. There's anything to do with this. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Cool. Excellent. Right then, yeah, I'm just going over to the blacksmiths.
To the blacksmiths. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna just pop it Moxie away somewhere.
I need a mouse.
You've got a mouse.
I know I've got a mouse, yeah.
Okay. There's the blacksmiths is basically there is what you see. It's kind of like a bar, if you see what you see. This wooden wall around the perimeter is kind of like a low bar, and behind it is the blacksmith working his forge. And he notices you approach. He's a dwarf, and he wipes sweat from his brow, and he says, "Good day, travellers. There's something I can help you with."
Hello, my good sir. I'm in the market for some arrows.
Arrows, let me have a look. What sort of bow do you fire, lad?
I'll take out my bow and I'll just show him. Just
Right.
show it to him. I'll hold it out. The old moon bow.
It's a nice piece of equipment, that. It's a fancy bow, by no mistake. Most of my lads use crossbows, but the Duke's men, they tend to prefer the longbow. I've got a few arrows that might suit you. And he pulls out a couple of bundles of arrows. They're just normal arrows. And then he leans over the bar at you and goes, quite conspiratorially, taps his rather large nose and says, "But if you've got a bit of coin to spend, I might have something a wee bit special."
Oh, do tell. Tell me more. I won't tell if you don't.
He looks around, making a big show of it, peering over the bar, and he says, "Check this out." He pulls out a small wooden case, and he flips the latch on it, and it's engraved with some strange runes. And I would like Wu, Uther, and Voldron to make an Arcana check as he flips this case open.
No idea. What it could possibly be.
Voldron, you recognise the symbols upon this case. They are definitely legit arcane symbols, and they are of a. Let me just get this right. You know a little bit about the arcane from your upbringing, so. There's a lot of arcane trickery down there. The symbols, you're not exactly sure 100% what they do, but you are convinced that the symbols are from the evocation school of magic.
And that is
damage, basically. That's like elemental damage, fire, ice, lightning, poison, shit like that. And this arrow is the flight of the arrow. The feathers at the end are a little mismatched. They're not even like most arrows are. One is longer than the others by far. One is shorter, and then two others are almost in between sizes, between the longest and the shortest. And the arrowhead seems to give off a slight mist. And he says,
quite cool.
"This, my friend, you don't get many of these this far north of Waterdeep. This is one of the rare arrows of freezing, made by Blackstaff himself."
Wow, that's really quite cool. Literally.
Aye, you're on the panometer for that one, lad.
So, what sort of price are you looking at for an arrow of this caliber?
For you, my elven friend, 150 gold.
I'm just going to look around and be like, has anyone got 150 gold? So I just looked at my gold and I've got fuck all. I've got 6 gold pieces. It's like, stab at arrows, expense.
So we do have.
While this is going on, I'm going to trip over and knock over some weapons.
Okay.
I'd say we do have some gold to divvy out, but nowhere near that much, Johnny.
Perhaps another time. Damn it.
Woo. As you knock over these weapons, Woo, I think I know what you're trying to do. Would you like to do a performance check for me?
Okay. That catches on. Oh.
wait till we're all together and they're talking about it.
Okay, so yeah, somewhere around here, there's like a rack with daggers and short swords and things like that. And you're having a look and touching it, and you accidentally clatter into it, knock it all over. The dwarf goes, "Oh lad, be careful! Some of those are still hot. You'll burn yourself." And he comes over to, climbs over the bar, and he starts trying to pick up the rack and some of the weapons with these thick leather gauntlets he has on. Leaving the arrow vulnerable, Voldran.
I shall take it and swap it for one of my normal arrows.
My good man Voldran, we are not thieves and criminals. I'm going to say quite loudly.
Quite loudly.
Quite loudly.
I stop myself before I do it.
There's a good
prick. I'm gonna shoot you a glance, like bad form. Very bad form.
Imagine that. Imagine that. One player thwarting another player's attempts at shenanigans. Who'd have thought it? I mean, what sort of bad form gameplay is this? You should be ashamed, Alan. Oof. I mean, Johnny would never do that, would he? Never.
Never.
Do you remember when I called for your help and you brought me a data slate? I do. Okay,
I can't tolerate thieves. We're not criminals. We're heroes, remember, Voldran.
So as you...
thieves? What? As you say this, I'm going to look like, what? I draw an arrow from my bow and it's like... What? Pretend.
You catch Voldran trying to steal this arrow. You say this to him. He seems to have second thoughts about it. But Wu, you also see this happening, and you have a chance to try and distract the blacksmith enough so that he won't notice what's gone on with Voldran and Uther. If you would like, you can try and distract him. It's up to you. How are you going to distract him?
I'm really sorry! Top of my voice.
You get a bunch.
Okay. All right. I'd like to ask you for another performance check, please, Wu.
Okay. Yeah. Here's my fucking inspiration.
Okay. Mark, remove it from your sheet as you use it.
Okay. I have to roll. Or get it.
What did you roll? 6. You get to roll again if you use an inspiration.
Taking turns on, couldn't you?
Yeah. I guess you're down there at the moment, wouldn't you?
The blacksmith's suddenly confused by this screaming halfling, and he's like, "What's going on?" And he turns around and he sees Voldran is there with the arrow case, with the frost arrow in his hand, and he's still got the normal arrow in his other hand, and Uther's chastising him. Oh, I see.
No,
I see how it is.
I'm going to turn to Uther and be like, I was just comparing them, for goodness sake.
He steps over to you and he snatches the frost arrow and the case off you and says, "If I were you, lad, I'd take your sticky fingers and fuck off back to your ship." And he goes back behind the counter, and he pulls a chain on the wall, and there is this and shutters come down all the way around his blacksmith shop.
Wow. Thanks, Uther.
I'm going to say to Voldran, I'm going to say, my axes, I'm going to say,
let's just hope we don't.
You can't kid a kidder. I knew what you were about there. We're not thieves, Voldran. We're good people. Remember, you told me you weren't evil, and I believed you. You said you're not an evil drow. No.
Let's just
getting a little bit
hope
loud
we don't
again now.
encounter. Let's just hope we don't encounter anything that we could potentially only kill with like a frost arrow. Let's just hope that.
Yes, but we can't steal. We've got to
Well,
uphold the
I'm a
law.
bit worried. This dwarf has just shut me in his shop with him.
No, you're outside. You're outside. You were never inside. You were sort of like you were sort of like here on the outside of it, yeah.
And now it's your turn, boy.
It's time for you to pick up the soap.
All right, Hayden, it's not your game. Fucking hell.
Look, Baldwin, I've stolen. I've cheated. It's not a good life. You need to. We need to be better.
So you're a hypocrite. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I've left that behind, and I can't tolerate any breaking of the law right in front of my eyes. It's against my oath, my paladin's oath. I cannot tolerate it. Uphold the law, decency, truth, protect the innocent, all that sort of thing. You told me you weren't evil, Voltrin. You said I'm not an evil, and I believed you. You looked me in the eyes. Did you lie?
No.
I'm going to skip past good.
But don't tell me.
Good? What is bad?
What was that word? Sorry.
But don't. I'm skipping past good. What is good? What is bad? And then just carry on.
Stealing is bad, okay?
I firmly believe that it's time to go to his house.
Meanwhile, down by the merchant carts, Ducal, Tabitha, you arrive down here. And what you find here is there is a couple of carts, a couple of wagons. Two of the carts, they look like they might be carrying fruit and veg, but they're not. They're covered by tarps. You can't see as you approach what they're carrying. And the two wagons, one of them looks, the one with the blue awning here, looks quite fancy, quite well to do, but the one with the red awning looks a little bit more run down and tattered. And there are a number of people here. There's a couple of people that are clearly caravan guards. They wear chainmail, they have swords and shields and crossbows, but they do have their helmets off and their boots off. They're warming their feet by the fire. And there's this these four humans sitting with them. I think they're 4 humans. Let me get that right. No, they're not. They're not 4 humans. 3 of them are humans. So just to clarify which is which, this guy here who's kind of like sweeping up and tidying up a bit is human. This guy here is a young lad. Well, not a young lad. He looks like he's about 18, 19. He's kind of sitting on his own. There's a woman here, a human, who's sort of pointing to the guy who's sweeping and saying, "You missed a bit there. You missed a bit there." But the chap who sat here is a male tiefling. Looks quite elderly. His hair is grey. He's a bit wrinkled round his eyes. He's got like, just a bald head with like a ring of hair around here. Really piercing blue eyes. His skin is bright red. He's quite short as well. He's only about 5'4", but he's reasonably built for what looks like an elderly gentleman. You also notice he's missing a few fingers on one hand. And as you come around the corner, Tabitha and Ducal, the 2 caravan guards stand up, take a few steps towards you, hands on blades, and they draw the swords, not fully, just a couple of inches as a threat. And then this tiefling stands as well and turns to you and says, now, chaps, please, stay your weapons. Greetings, travellers. Is there something I can help you with?
I don't want to say.
Why are you doing that?
So I can ask questions.
Just ask me. Just ask me, Alison. Ignore James. He's not there. He's not there, James. Ask me.
Your job is to talk. You are the faith.
Oh, right, okay.
He's not there.
If all those Pete tongues,
He's
then
just a turd in the toilet, Alison. Forget him.
you won't.
Yeah. So can I go over to the tiefling and ask if he minds if I warm myself? Is he near the fire?
Yeah, he's sat on a little bench around the fire.
If he minds if I sit with him and warm myself by the fire?
Please, Sister Tabaxi, join us. All are welcome by our fire.
Me too, fella.
Of course, please. All are welcome, as I said.
So I just make a little bit of small talk.
Yep.
Ask him how he is and just use my charisma to charm him.
Okay, yeah. So give me a charisma roll. And what sort of thing are you trying to learn?
I'm really curious as to find out what's under the tarpaulin, but I don't feel like I can immediately ask that.
Okay, yeah. So you could ask him. He's clearly a merchant. You could ask him what he's trading. So give me a charisma roll for a start. Let's see how this this starts. Okay. So it is nothing particularly interesting or nothing particularly secretive. I am a humble merchant dealing in the ores from the Gontelglim. Grontelglim. One of the dwarf guards says, hang on, says, Gontelgrim, you fool. He says, aye, yes, Gontelgrim. I buy the Moreros. I take them south to the city of Splendors, Waterdeep. He steps towards one of the wagons and he pulls back a corner. You see there's like a large wooden box, and you can see rocks of some sort of metal in there. Make an intelligence check, please, Tabitha. I think it might be silver. And what about yourself? What is it brings you to this little remote out of the place? And the dwarf says, out of the way place. He said, yes, out of the way place. I see you arrive by your fancy flying ship.
Oh, we're just stopping over on our travels.
Of course, yes, we too. He points at the guy over here sweeping up. And the woman over here says, this is Darien and Ephrin, my drivers for my wagons. My name is Zoris, and you are...
I'm Tabitha. Pleased to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Tabitha. And he actually drops to one knee, takes your hand, and gives the back of your hand a little kiss.
Nice.
Tell me, do you have a accordion? And one of the dwarfs says, accommodation. Yes, do you have accommodation for the night, or would you like to pitch a tent by the fire?
Thank you very much for your offer, but we do have accommodation. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, aboard the ship, no?
Probably yes.
Good. I slept on a ship a few times in my youth. Used to make the same journey by ship before Gontelgrim reopened. And the dwarf says, Gontelgrim! Yes, Gontelgrim. Before Gontelgrim reopened, I used to make the trade from Laskin to the north, all the way to Waterdeep by boat. But now, I'm getting old. My bones, they ache, The land is better. Travel just by spring, on the land where it is rough and dry and hard and not wet.
And Tabitha just purrs.
The fire is nice and warm. It's not a particularly cold night, but there is like a an early spring chill in the air still. So it's not cold outside, but the fire does make it a little bit cozier. Decal, what are you doing during all this?
I'm just started there wondering why my beard's moving on when there's no wind.
The beard is all over the place. It's wild. Both of you make a perception check, please.
You.
Decal, you notice the chap at the end here.
Yeah.
He's not been included. Zoris, the tiefling, told you that the two guards are his. Darian, the guy here, and Ephrin are drivers. But he never said anything about this young man who's maybe 18, 19 years old. And he's sat on his own, he's nursing a mug of ale, and he looks very young and a bit naive and maybe a little bit uncomfortable in his surroundings.
I'm going to scoot next to him, really close, and ask him if he's got ale for me.
Give me a charisma check.
Oh, shit.
It's an ale.
Amazing.
Says,
That's very respectable charisma.
says, please forgive me, sir. I don't have much in the. No, wait, hang on. Please forgive me, sir. I do not have much in the way of ale to spare, but I do have some to sell if you have coin.
Sure, mate. How much is an ale?
Oh, I don't mean to rip anyone off. I'm not trying to make profit. It's just I bought this myself. So, and he pulls out a bottle of what's called Lon's Best Brew.
Sounds tasty.
He says, just 1 copper piece, that's all I paid for it. I would love to be able to share with you freely, but I frankly don't have the coin.
So like a bargain to me, mate. I'll have it off you if you don't mind.
You also recognise his accent as being native to Neverwinter.
Boom. I'll start drinking the ale.
Okay. It's really good. Like, really fucking good. Give me a history check. Lon's Best Brew. Lon. The name rings a bell. And this guy's from Neverwinter, of that you're sure. You seem to remember there was once a half-orc of great standing who used to dwell in the city of Neverwinter. And he was well known as being a bit of a microbrewer.
I'm asking where he bought the ale from.
Oh, back home, sir. Back in Neverwinter. You're from there too, right?
Yes, mate. Yeah, it's one of my favourites.
There's I'm sorry, I've dropped the accent there. Hang on a minute. There's a brewer in the northeast quarter, which, by the way, is where you have grown up, in the northeast quarter. He makes his beers to traditional recipes, using local ingredients only. And he heard of the legend of Lon and wanted to make a beer in his honour. It's not really licensed or anything, it's a bit shady, but it's really good beer.
Is indeed, my mate. Is indeed.
So are you heading home or are you heading south?
Just on a trip with my mate. Just over here for a quick talk, and we'll be off again in the morning.
Hang on a sec. James?
Yep.
Can while you and Alison are chatting, can you mute yourself?
Yeah.
Just get a lot of cross chatter. That's all. Sorry, Ed. What were you saying?
What did I say now? I said I'd just here overnight and then off again in the morning. Back down south.
Oh, you're heading south, are you?
I think so.
You're going as far as Waterdeep.
I don't think so, mate. I'm just a rigger.
Oh, right. Fair enough. It's just I've these. He points at the other travellers. It says, "I'm kind of hitching a ride alongside them. They're all going to Waterdeep, but they've got guards and that, and I feel like I'm a bit of a burden. And I was wondering if you were looking for work. I don't have much. I don't have much to pay you with, but when I get to Waterdeep, I might have some. And I wondered if you'd be interested in, maybe doing some work in kind."
It's not my ship, my mate. So.
Oh, you coming on the ship?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and I'll be travelling on, obviously by land, with the wagon and that. And he points at the wagon. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were maybe, you don't look like the sort of person that would. Please, no offence, but oh shit, fucking hell.
No, take it, mate.
What's it like then, flying around on a sky ship?
It's quite breezy. My beer keeps getting in my mouth.
I mean, it's kind of doing that now when there's no wind. I'll be honest.
You don't understand why. It does it all the time.
It's got a life of its own, that beard, hasn't it? Yeah.
Always has done.
Crazy things. So I'm going to leave you chatting with this guy for a moment. I'm going to go back to Darwin. Sorry, Darwin, you're muted. I hate having to ask people to mute themselves. It's just because there's two of you in the room. You start talking.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
I can't hear other people. I'm not trying to be like, shut up, James and Alison. Nobody wants to hear you. Right. So yeah, Darwin, you head up to the wall. You notice there's. So just to clarify as well, the route up to the wall is up this set of stairs here, which headed sort of up to where the Anemeril is. But then there's a ladder that heads to the roof. You don't take that. You walk around the tower, and then you see these humans, and they're all quite relaxed. They're all armed with swords, shields, crossbows, and there are a number of heavy ballista mounts here as well that are pointing up at the sky. A couple of them see you arrive, and they start to watch you a lot more carefully when you do arrive. What are you doing?
Watchers on the wall, I come in peace. Just a civilian, fear not.
Okay. One of them says,
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch over the hobgoblin camp.
Okay. These are the humans, by the way. These guys on this side of the thing.
Here, humans.
The side that you're on are the humans. The dwarves are all on the other side. You've noticed there's a bit of segregation there.
Okay, and this side is towards Waterdeep.
No, Waterdeep is sort of southeast of your position. So what basically?
So the dwarves watching Waterdeep and the humans are watching the other side.
Yeah, so basically the humans from Waterdeep are on the non-Waterdeep side of the fortress, and the dwarves from Gauntlgrim are on the non-Gauntlgrim side of the fortress.
Are they from Gauntlgrim or are they from Thornhold?
They're from Gauntlgrim, but the fortress is called Thornhold.
Yeah. Okay.
So the human that you approach and you're near says, hang on a sec. Good day, Master Turtle, right? You're a turtle, yes?
Yes. That's what people tell me.
I've never. I apologise. I've never met one of your kind. I don't know if there's a specific greeting your people prefer or anything. I do apologise. It's just this is a new experience for me. But welcome to Thornhold.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure to be here. The magnificent castle you're manning.
Yes, it's not bad. It's certainly better than some of the places I've been stationed. Yes.
I couldn't help but notice as we flew overhead in the flying ship, these hobgoblins. There a reason that they're camped outside the castle and not inside?
Oh, don't worry about those, sir. They're just looking for work. They tend to set themselves up outside Thornhold, looking for merchant caravans, offering their services. You know, caravan escorts.
I see. Mercenaries.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of them around these parts. We try not to encourage them. We try to suggest to travellers like yourselves, not to encourage them as well and not to employ them. But I see you won't be having that problem. He points to the airship. He says, but at the end of the day, we have instructions to allow them to go about their business as long as they're not causing problems, which, they're not.
Well, me and my companions have been on the receiving end of them before, and perhaps they were in the employ of somebody else. But I just wondered what you knew about them and where they came from.
What, these ones in particular? Well, what I know about them is they've been here for.
Uniform.
Sorry?
I said they wore the same uniform.
Well, yes. There's a lot of them. These League of Blades, I believe they call themselves, all over the Sword Coast. But they owe no loyalty to anyone but whoever has coin, from what I understand. These particular ones, this particular group, they've been here for a 10-day or more, just waiting for work, and they'll stay there until someone employs some or all of them as guards or whatever, and then they'll leave. But they're no trouble. There's this particular smell that comes from the camp, but other than that, they don't cause any bother.
I see. Well, thank you for the information.
Quite welcome. Mind how you go.
Right, I'm going to head off down towards where Luciana's gone then, I think. Can I see her go in here?
You saw her enter the keep, yeah, but you don't know she's in there, even though you can see her on the map. You saw her head into these doors here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll steadily make my way down there now.
Okay.
Taking in the sights, the marvelous sights of this colossal construction.
Okay. Give me a perception check, please, Darwin. It's an impressive keep. You realise it's manned by maybe a couple of dozen soldiers, humans and dwarves combined. And what little you know about such things, you think this place could hold up to a siege by a much larger force, unless, of course, they travelled by air and came in over the wall. That external wall is sturdy. This place looks like it's built to last against the siege. I'm going to go for a wee. We'll come back to Wu, Uther, and Voldrun. If you guys want to decide what you want to do, you can move about. It's entirely up to you. Back in a sec.
Still with us, Hayden, mate?
Are you with us,
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
I'm with you.
Cannot hear you. Is that just me?
I can hear him.
Just stay safe with me, would you, Hayden?
I don't see have you anymore.
I do have some wool.
Yes, sir, yes.
Hope Johnny doesn't take it personally. He seems to take it a little personally, but... Do you remember that session 0 we had when we decided as a group whether to play goodies or baddies or people in the middle or and as you know,
I remember that.
You remember that when we all decided we were going to play good guys,
Yes,
heroes and all that. I mean, I'm not against playing evil characters, but I've made a fucking paladin, so I can't look the other way.
Still time to change to an Oathbreaker, Al.
Good, yeah, you're not wrong. Johnny's trying to make me an Oathbreaker. He's not the only thief. He's not the only thief in the group either.
Okay, Uther, what are you doing? Where are you going? This is like a second round of what's going down.
Yeah, I'll probably do I see Mr. Turtle go past? I might tag along with him.
Mr. Who? Sorry, Mr. Turtle.
Mr. Turtle. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely. If Darwin's heading down here, this is all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You see him heading to the keep. Yeah.
Yeah, I might tag along with him. I mean, it's getting probably a bit awkward with Voldron, and plus he's not here, so I'm gonna.
Why is he?
Can you hear me now?
Hear me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine, mate.
Can't see you.
No, there's no visual, but there is sound of Hayden. And to be honest, sound of Hayden is just as good at looking at Hayden.
Yeah.
Okay, so Uther, Darwin, do you want to move yourself, Uther, over to the keep?
What?
Woo, what are you up to?
Right, I'm just waiting for the screen to load in.
And Tabitha and Dukal, obviously, whatever you want to do. If you want to stay where you are, you can, or you can move elsewhere. Voldron's back. So, Woo, what are you doing?
Come back to me, Dave. I'm waiting for my screen to load up and reload everything.
Okay, cool. Voldron, what are you doing? So at the moment we've got Darwin and Uther are heading towards the keep. Woo we don't know yet. In fact, no one else we know yet. So what are you up to, Voldron?
Okay, I'll follow. I'm going to move up with them guys, I think.
Okay, so you're heading to the keep.
Yep. Oh god.
Okay, Dukal and Tabitha, what are you doing?
I'm going to tell them I'm going to be leaving them shortly to join my crew, but ask if there's anything they need before I leave.
Give me a charisma check, please, Tabitha.
Rolling in Thornhold.
Zoris, the tiefling, says, "No, thank you. Your company has been more than enough that you've given for this evening. Thank you for the brief time you've sorry, I've lost his accent. Thank you for the brief time you have spent with us. It has been enlightening."
It's been lovely to meet you all, and thank you for sharing your fire. And I bid them a good evening, and I'll go and join the rest.
And to you too. Take care now.
I'm going to tap my mate on the shoulder and get up and walk around and meet the others.
Okay.
Say thank you for the beer. See you later.
Are you battlers yet, Hayden? You got control of your own
Yeah,
faculties?
I'm here.
Cool. What are you doing?
I'll go meet up with everybody else. Seems there's probably not a magic cape still.
Okay.
No.
Seems to be a lot of meeting up at the keep gates.
We'll just get a pie and drink here. Tea.
Okay, so who's not there? Someone's not there.
I think everyone's there apart from Moxie.
2, 4, 5. How many singing? Oh, hang on. Voldron's
Voldron.
mounted Darwin. That's why. That's why I couldn't count 6. The horny dark elf was the top of the total. Okay, as you approach, you all sort of seem to bizarrely, mysteriously, almost meta-y, converge on the gates at the same time. And there is, as I said before, there's a human here and a dwarf here. The human is big. He's like, Ducal levels of big. He's like 6'7", shoulders almost as wide again. He's clad in plate armor, and he has this huge two-handed axe. And the dwarf is also quite big for a dwarf. He's almost 5 foot tall. And he has, again, plate armor, different to the other warrior. And they're both wearing these colours. The human's wearing the colours of Waterdeep. The dwarf's wearing the colours of Gauntlgrim. And they eye you as you approach. The human speaks first, and he says, "Hang on. Greetings. Is there something I could help you with?"
Well met.
Well met yourself. Wait, just a second. Where's Uther from? Did we ever establish that?
Yeah. I mean, he has it's miles away from here, but I can look on my history somewhere. But it's a good way away from here.
Is it
He's been all
Neverwinter
over.
or Waterdeep?
No, I mean he has. I mean, Neverwinter's the place where he's from more recently.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Yeah.
But it's not like I'm just trying to establish accents. Is what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Get at, so.
But recently it's Neverwinter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been about. He's been about the bush.
All around, been here, there, and everywhere. Okay. Says, "Is there something I can help you with, there, sirs and or madams?"
Are we permitted to enter? We are just exploring this fine settlement, such as it is, seeing what is on offer, meeting people, discovering new things and new places.
Came on the airship, right?
Aye.
Boldly going where no man or elf or dwarf has ever been before.
Johnny,
We're not criminals.
Shh. Don't reference Star Trek in this game. That's not the vibe I'm going for. Honest. Just you came in on the airship, right, with Miss Roth.
Yes.
Glances at his dwarven companion. The dwarf looks back for a moment and says, "I could ask, I suppose." The human nods. The dwarf disappears inside. Looks you up and down for a moment, Uther. Clocks the symbol on your shield. Says, "Platinum dragon, eh?"
The only god for me, or goddess,
There's no.
depending what form it takes.
Pretty certain it's kind of a moot point these days. One minute he could be a man. Next,
It could be a canary.
he could be a canary. Next, you could be a giant turd blocking a toilet and still have godly powers, sir.
A godly turd.
A godly turd. A turd of godly, epic proportions that could block
holy
even the
pool.
plumbing of mighty Waterdeep herself.
Aye. A strange tangent that we've gone off, sir.
I am just killing time, sir, while my companion just goes to see if you are permitted entry to the keep. Because you see, the thing is, sir, that generally speaking, it's not, open to public.
Aye.
But you did arrive on fancy airship with Miss Roth, so you don't seem to know either.
What's that,
Is
Jay?
the keep of the same construction as the wall around?
Make a perception check.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like the architectural style of both the wall, the keep, everything's similar, but it does look like there's been some of it looks old, okay, but some of it looks like it's been very recently repaired. And with a 16, you notice that there's certain flourishes, like certain runes being carved in certain stones that are the more modern additions to it that are dwarven as fuck.
I'll ask the guy. I'll say, "This is a magnificent construction. Is it who built it? Is it dwarven in origin or human?" I see there seems to be a group of different soldiers manning the walls on either side.
Student of history, are we, sir?
I'm just interested
Or
in
is it
the
an
history of the-
architectural? Is it an architectural bent that leads to your line of questioning?
I'm interested in the history of this place and how it came to be.
Well, the earliest records we've ever found suggest that Thornhold was built by Briunda Magaster, who at the time were a local warlord, part of the Waterhavian Magasters. They held the keep until Samula Caradon took over shortly after the Second Troll War, about 600 years ago. But it changed hands many, many times over the centuries to come. But more recently, with the last century or so, everything got a bit squirrely. Things got forgotten. Things got lost, and there was a bit of a claim to the place by the dwarves of Gauntlgrim. But of course, the Magasters were from Waterdeep. We've had some skirmishes over the years, but these days we've basically been ordered to play nice with one another. And he points up to the wall that you didn't go to, where the dwarves are. It says, "So the dwarves of Gauntlgrim and the soldiers of Waterdeep both guard Thornhold to ensure the passage of trade, to benefit both settlements. But originally, no one really knows who built it."
So we don't know why it looks like a uterus.
A what, sir?
I read it in a book.
No,
I don't actually know what it is.
I believe that the construction, the layout, the plan of the place was built to honour a specific god, sir.
The god of...
the god of Reddit, sir.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, yes, okay.
It's a god of fertility.
Yes.
You've heard of him, which is ironic, really, that Reddit would be a god of fertility, because it said most people that use Reddit are right wankers.
I feel personally attacked.
Hey, mate, I use it all the time. I would like you... You're all present, so I would like... this would be a tricky one. Uther and Dukal to make a history check, please.
History, eh?
Yes.
It's a mediocre roll.
Okay, so neither of you are particularly schooled in this sort of thing, but there's a few names and places and times that he mentions that crop up, and it all sounds like it kind of makes sense to you. He doesn't sound like he's trying to bullshit you or anything. You know, to someone who isn't particularly educated, this is a very vague history lesson. Just as you're having this revelation, the door opens and the dwarf re-enters. And he says,
Can I just be in the midst of saying a prayer to Jaunty for fertility of the region?
Sure.
Blessed is the green mother, the green goddess.
And I'm going to draw a sheath.
A sheep or a sheath?
A sheath.
Wait, so you're saying a prayer to the god of fertility and then drawing a condom? I mean, those two things kind of seem a little bit at odds with one another. Okay, give me
brain within a uterus.
This is a bit of an unusual request, but can you make a religion check, please, James?
I'm calling on her because she is part of the old gods pantheon.
She is. She's also in my list of accepted gods.
Yeah.
Das God ist verboten. 9.
Cool. For reasons that I prefer not to disclose at this moment in time, James, you can have a point of inspiration.
Cool.
Yeah, the dwarf reappears at this point and says, "Aye, all of yous can come with me now." And he leads you inside, and I'm just gonna, for sake of fucking about, I'm just gonna drag you all in. But not you, guard sergeant. You can stay outside. Nobody cares for you. You get led into this room. The guys that are stood at attention either side of this room in pillars are, again, in very ornate versions of the same armour that you've seen outside. The words "Honour Guard" stand out in your mind straight away. Lucy is here, and she watches you approach with something of a wry smile upon her face, and the dwarf says, "Your guests, my Lord Stoneshaft." That's right. His fucking name's Lord Stoneshaft, Johnny. What you gonna do about it? You're gonna laugh like a child? You little dirty bitch.
Get your kicks where you can.
Pause for Johnny. The dwarf fucks off. Right, okay. So you're stood here in this, what is, quite frankly, it looks like some sort of royal court. But seated on the thrones on this raised pantheon are two men. One is a dwarf, one is a human. The human is very ornately dressed, but he is definitely wearing colours that you, Uther and Dukal, would recognise as the colours of Waterdeep. And he has a cloak over one shoulder that he has spread across his lap that has the crest of Waterdeep. It doesn't have the crest of a family of Waterdeep, it has the crest of the city upon it. And the dwarf is dressed in fucking plate armour, but on every single surface that is flat on the plate armour, there is the symbol of Gauntlgrim. Luciana steps towards you all and says, "What are you doing here?"
I've come in search of answers.
Answers, okay, right, fine. I mean, this is literally just a stopover, Uther. I'm here to be polite.
Yes, we'll be perfectly polite.
The dwarf, Lord Stoneshaft, says, "Miss Roth, stop trying to quieten your minions and let them come forward and speak. Why is it you seek audience with myself and my companion. And he seems to look a little pissed off as he says this. The guy, the human guy, is kind of slumped in his chair. Looks a little cocky. He's got a goblet of wine in his hand. And says, yes, please, do come forward. Tell us why you 6 interesting people have turned up at my keep just before Betty Bee-Bye time.
I'll step forward and I'll go, my lord, I've heard many, I've come in search of omens of darkness, and shadow spreading the land. There's a great evil coming to this world. Have you heard of any stories or omens that give credence to this? My lord Stoneshaft and my lord, I don't know your name.
He says, Magaster. Atherford Magaster. So this is a name that was mentioned at the gate when he was speaking to the other guy a couple of minutes ago. He said this place was once... He's not sure who it was built by, but at one point it was taken by the Magaster family, Magasters of Waterdeep.
Okay. I'll Magaster, my lord Magaster. Yes, that was my question.
Okay. Lord Magaster comes striding down his staircase, stumbles a little on one of the steps, has a sip of wine, and he eyes you up and down, Uther. Seems to focus a lot on your shield, the symbol of Bahamut. Says, darkness. Darkness you speak of.
Yes, the darkness will claim all.
Aye, this entire land is riddled with darkness, my friend. And he peers around you. He sees Darwin. Says, my. A turtle. I have not seen one of those for many a year.
A rare species, so I'm told.
Yes, you are indeed. This darkness you speak of, do you believe it is a particular threat to Thornhold?
Well, not immediately, but yes.
Not immediately, but yes.
Yes.
He turns to the dwarf and he does this. He goes, ooh, could they be any more cryptic? The dwarf gets up, strides forward and says, do not listen to this fucking windbag. You come with my friend Lucy. You speak of darkness. Lucy, you vouch for these people. Luciana says, well, yes, in a way, I suppose. We are working together. So what's this about a darkness they're talking about?
She doesn't believe us. She thinks that it's just a projection.
No, Ronwyn, that's not entirely true. If these people believe they've seen some sort of darkness spreading across the land, they've definitely seen some sort of darkness spreading across the land. I'm not the sort of person to brush such things aside. However, we can only act on the intel we have, and we don't really have any intel. So we're just, we're going to find intel, Ronwyn. That's all it is.
Well, we do have a little bit of intel that the Hobgoblin mercenary warband who are camped outside these walls has something to do with the Shadow and is probably working for them. Although, being a mercenary outfit, they may not realise what the other half of their army is doing.
Everyone make a perception check.
My glasses! I left them on the ship.
Where's mine?
Well, it's okay.
No, I couldn't play. Right.
No. Oh, that's what's
Nice.
fucking just comes in, swans in, and fucking crit shit. And then
James, I've sent you a message in Roll20. Voldrun, you're getting a similar message.
Can't hear Johnny. Can other people hear Johnny?
be like that, Miss Roth. I must inquire about the threats to the land.
Sent you a message as well, Johnny, in Roll20.
Inside Dave, why would you look at me like that?
Johnny's enjoying that, whatever it is.
There you go, James. Right.
What did the goblin say when they mentioned her by name?
I just think they asked us if who was Luciana Roth, and then that's
which one. They were asking which one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And didn't they also have gold, which was with that beardless Rainer on as well? So
yep. So there's 3 instances you found beardless Rainier coins. One was the first hobgoblin in the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was the butcher had some.
Yep.
And the third one was the hobgoblins that were trying to bob the shit.
They're all taking baddie gold.
Yeah. So who's beardless Rainer? Is that the king that took our blood?
I think it's an alternative Rainer from another
Rainier
dimension.
Neverember. Rainier Neverember is the current Lord Protector of the city. He's not a king. He's the Lord Protector of the city. The distinction is important to him. He's made that clear to you. His father was Lord Protector.
Right.
He wants his daughter is marrying a prince, and they're getting married on the spring equinox. And he wants you to find the crown of Alagondar, which is the crown of the rightful king of Neverember, so he can crown himself king, because he will then technically be royalty, because his daughter will have married a prince.
Okay.
Lucy also knows him and says that they used to adventure together. So he hasn't always been royalty, so to speak. He used to be an adventurer until he took an arrow to the knee. Fucking come on.
Yeah, but I say the Sentinel also said there was a load of other worlds that were all getting killed off. So
yep.
There's some alternate timelines as well. So.
Yep. Remember, this is a really simple plot. I promised you a really simple plot in this game, right?
Yep, you did.
I did. Okay. Right, where were we? So,
Oof is going to say, "What? Did anyone say anything?" I'm sure I asked a question.
I'm sure you did. What was it?
I don't remember. Something about omens, about the darkness.
Oh,
yes.
The darkness.
Have you seen anything? Can you tell us anything? Or have you heard nothing?
Lord Atherford goes back to his throne and says, "My dear man, if I had a copper piece for everyone who came around here, speaking of omens and signs and last night I pissed in the sheep's fucking entrails and there was the symbol of Shah and all that stuff. Well, I'd have a lot of copper. Let's just say that. These sort of omens, these sort of prophecies are 10 a penny. If I was you, I'd concentrate on the task at hand. You're in the employ of Lady Wrath. You have one of the best jobs in all the realms.
Was that what's his name?
That's
Stone Shaft's the other one. Yeah. I'll look at Stone Shaft. I'm going to ignore that guy. Look at Stone Shaft instead.
Yeah.
And you, sir? Have you anything to add?
No, lad. You should listen to my compatriot
Companion.
here. There's from time to time there might be something in prophecy and whispers of the future and the past, but no, my lad. You should probably just, forget about it. It's nonsense. Right? Go about your business.
Okay. Well, I can see I've wasted my time.
Anyone else going to say anything? Johnny, I can't hear you again, Johnny.
Yeah,
sorry, fucking hell. I don't know why you've got the fucking plague, the techno plague.
What do I? Is it Cyric's scale? Is this how he gets his own back on you?
It's the scrap code. It's lodged deep. It's lodged deep inside Johnny. It's wearing him like a glove.
Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah.
What's Alison saying?
Never a true word spoken.
What did I miss?
Well, no, it's what we missed, I think. We didn't hear you for some time.
Yeah, we've not heard you for a while, mate, so I'm not sure.
Oh, right, okay. No worries. No, it wasn't anything relevant. It was just basically, Evoldrin was just wondering how they managed to dust a place like this big.
Make a perception check, please.
Oh, there's some magical dusters.
In fact, Evoldrin, make a perception check and also make a history check. Meanwhile, Lucy puts one arm on you, Uther, on your forearm, grabs hold of your forearm and says, look, this is maybe not the right time or place to be pursuing such unusual objectives. You're not at advantage, Johnny. It's a real shame. But yeah, you don't know how they fucking dust a place like this.
Yeah, I've got no idea. Wow. Is it very dusty? Is it very dusty?
It's pretty clean. It's pretty clean.
Wow.
Quite well maintained.
Very good. Sorcery. Sorcery's at work here. Foul sorcery.
I see that now, my lady, but I had to try. These people were in a position of power. They may have known something. I had to ask. And I couldn't think of anything better to do.
It's almost like I put you in a dead-end spot to see what would happen.
Anyway.
See if we'd get into trouble.
See if we'd steal. Like petty criminals.
Yeah.
No, clearly not on Uther's watch.
I can't do it. It's nothing personal, Johnny. I just can't. I can't do it.
Both Lord Magaster and Mr. Stoneshaft retake their thrones and say, Stoneshaft says, if there's nothing else, your minions have to grill us over, Miss Roth. Perhaps you could, put them back in their cages, and we'll get back to having our dinner. Lucy says, absolutely. Of course, Lord Stoneshaft. And she insistently sort of starts to pull on your forearm, Uther, heading you back out the keep.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn and just march out.
Yeah, I think we'll take the subtle hint. I think I left my glasses anyway. I'll see you later. Bye bye, my lord, my lord Shaft. Goodbye.
Okay, and she drags you back outside. Anyone resisting?
No, I'm just gonna light my pipe as soon as I get outside. So,
Okay, and she also doesn't stop there when you leave the keep. She keeps marching you away towards the airship.
Yeah, let's just go to the airship.
I think, Luciana, this place is a bit of a dead end. We should head back.
Maybe a long rest is in order.
She leans into you, Uther, when you say it's a bit of a dead end. Says it was never supposed to be anything but that. It's a stopover. It's a way station. A place to be safe along the way. A place away from darker things.
Services, basically, on the way.
Yeah,
like welcome break.
It's the Premier Inn on the M62. It's overpriced. Its beds are ridden with bugs, and none of the employees speak English as a first language. It's terrible.
It's just dwarven.
I see that now.
Yes, it's this is a silly place. Let us leave.
Are you all off back to the ship?
Yeah.
No silly.
Everyone going back to the ship?
We go to the ship.
Okay. Moxie is still, for some reason, furiously cooking in the galley. It's like no one told her she didn't have to cook non-stop.
I'm gonna go back and see what she's been cooking, and then
a lot of mushroom-related food. A lot of mushroom-related.
Are you all right, Moxie?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm Moxie. Look at me. I'm speaking. This is how I speak. Ooh.
Sing us a song, Moxie.
Yes, everything's great.
Get rid of the shadows on this.
Sing us a song.
Say again, sorry, James.
Any way to get rid of the shadows on the boats?
Doing what with the shadows?
All that work on dynamic lighting. I want you to fuck it all off, Dave, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could just go fuck yourself if you want, James. It's... Sorry, no, hang on. Let me fucking ungrateful fucking.
Yes.
Let's have a look. How's that?
You're back.
How's that? There you go. Look.
That's no better.
That's what you're getting. For now.
Can I see it all? Because I've got night vision.
No, you can only see what you've been in for a start. So I'm just going to. Right, let me give you all a brief guided tour of what you would have been able to see. How's that?
Go on then.
Right, so on the main deck, there's nothing to worry about. You've all been in Lucy's cabin. That sounded wrong. You've all been
Everybody's been in Lucy's cabin.
Wait, roll 20's having a seizure. Just a second.
All this dynamic lighting holding you back.
Yeah, but you'll be thankful for it when it comes to a dungeon crawl, mate. It's epic.
No dark vision, I won't.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't know. I'm off for a wee while that reloads. Back in a sec.
Level 5 so I can have some dark vision on. Let's see.
He's probably doing it on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to cut that anyway.
Just go to sleep, Alison. That's what Hayden's done.
Yeah. You still have a horse-drawn cart somewhere.
Yeah. I think it's on the ship somewhere. We've just not.
You just totally forgot about the fucking horse.
I mean,
I remembered about it because I
Definitely
thought
bought
about
one, right?
chucking off.
Hayden's got a dog, hasn't he?
Sorry?
Hayden's got a dog, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got a mastiff, I think.
Forgot about that.
Well, no, it's on the ship. It's all on the ship, I think. It's just we're not.
You could have used it and rode it in.
Alson's got
Proudly.
a riding horse and 2 dogs to pull off a cloak. Right.
Backup horse.
Right, let's figure out what's going on with this fucking stupid map.
So that cloak is pretty neat.
It's pretty cool.
Right, there we go. That's better.
Unique item.
Right, I don't really know what you guys can see half the time because it's just getting to be an incredibly complex game. So I'm going to put Moxie back down in the kitchen out of the way. So I'm going to start with Darwin.
Yeah, you need to resummon Pepper.
What is there?
Well, the rat just comes along with us in spirit.
Yeah, he shouldn't be there. He's literally appeared because I've copied and pasted you from elsewhere. So why is that? Right, Darwin.
Yo,
Just
you can see the.
I don't know why it's. So you should be able to see the outline of the ship, right? But it should be in shadow if you can't currently see it.
Yeah.
I can't see the front and the back.
Yeah, but you can see the shape of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it should be because things can change, obviously. Right, so I think I've got that sorted. So you're back on the ship. Decal's not. Decal's stood on one of the sails. Let me.
Walking the plank.
There we go. Yeah, Pat's not currently there, but you can summon Pat later if you'd like. So you get back to the ship. Lucy leads you back up onto the deck. Let's turn that down. That's a bit dramatic, isn't it? Chill out.
It's almost like it's encouraging us to ask interesting questions down the line.
And as soon as you get back onto the ship, she turns on you and says, "What the fucking hell was that? What are you doing? Running around telling every man and sundry about our secret mission and shadows and nonsense? What do you have any idea of the word subtlety?"
Well, I mean, yes, it's just it just seemed like a good idea at the time, Luciana. What do you mean secret mission?
Well, do you think us looking for the crown of Alagondar is common knowledge, or do you think it wasn't until today?
I thought hold on, just say, isn't the crown unrelated? Isn't that for Neverwinter for getting married? How is that related to the shadow? Sorry, forgive me.
Seems like
I'm not shouting you like out. Have we been told anything on that so far?
So out of character, I'm going to do this.
I'm sorry, Luciana. I don't quite get the cut of your mustard. I thought the crown was to get Neverwinter married to some fae or something. I mean, what's that got to do with the warnings from the Sentinel?
Oh yes. The crown, obviously, it's it's a symbol of
And the
power and
world's been destroyed
authority,
one after one.
and it's to get Lord Neverember's daughter wed to the Fae Prince. But yeah, no. This stuff about the shadow and the darkness that you keep talking about. I mean, do you think every man is just for a moment? Do you think every man and his dog wants to know that there is something
the world
like
is going
that?
to die.
Well, no. I mean, I'm not saying that the world is going to die, but if it were, do you think everyone should know that?
Well, they're people in responsibility. These lords of this settlement.
Yes, they're responsible for making sure that there's no trouble between merchants and guard caravan workers. That's the limit of their power. I mean, that's the limit of their responsibility. These people are good people, but fucking hell, Uther, you can't trust them with important secrets.
Well, I see that. Seemed like a good idea at the time, damn it.
Yeah, you don't know who's listening in. Could be anyone.
Look, it's not your fault. You wouldn't know, but just in future, just be a bit more careful about who you talk to, about what we're doing. The Crown of Alagondar thing's sensitive enough, but if people were to hear that there was, look,
the world is going to be destroyed.
No. There's no proof the world's going to be destroyed. Don't take this the wrong way, but the 7 of you are nobodies, right? No one knows who you are, right? But if they see me running around with a group of people saying the world is going to end, they're going to assume it really is going to end.
It is going to end, damn it.
Well, it probably will one day, but there's no evidence it's going to be soon.
You should trust in the omens as I do.
Fuck the omens, quite frankly. Omens are there to be fucking laughed at.
Well, fuck your crown, quite frankly, because the entire natural world is going to be destroyed, and that trumps your fucking crown. Bollocks to you, woman, and your fucking nonsense. It's worth inquiring everywhere we go if there's any fucking shadowy threat, because we'll fucking do something about it. Not be fucking nonsense on top of your flying ship.
Joe's going to drop as he looks at Darwin like he doesn't know him at all.
I'm just going to turn around and look at Darwin and just nod with a look of approval in my face. But I'm not going to say well said. I'm just going to be like,
It's hard to rouse the anger in a turtle, it seems, but once it happens, there's no boundary.
Total power.
The natural world is more important than all the constructs of civilization.
He's some kind of hero in a half shell.
Lucy advances on Darwin.
I'm going to stand behind Darwin and hiss.
Okay, let me put you there just for a second. She strides towards you, Darwin. You're about the same height, I think. Are you like 5'4" or something? She's maybe an inch or two taller than you. And she's got a very commanding presence about her. She's quite intimidating for such a slight, petite woman. And she strides over to you, Darwin, and says, you have no idea what you're dealing with. You of all people should know better. You've been here before. You've seen what can happen. I'd like everyone else to make a perception check, please.
Everyone else.
Why is there 2 Lucys on the map all of a sudden? There we go.
Where are my glasses?
Can I borrow your glasses? Luther, wear your glasses. I'm going to have to borrow them.
I seem to have misplaced them.
Tabitha, there is around Lucy's neck there is a leather choker with a small silver set amethyst gem. She's always worn it since the moment you met her, and right now this gem is vibrating furiously.
So Tabitha notes this and says to the rest of the crew, "Look at that chain around her neck. It's vibrating furiously."
I wish I had my glasses. Ufa's going to mutter. He's going to step a little closer to try and get a better look at this necklace. He's going to squint.
Okay. I would like.
Darwin's going to say, "What did you say?"
like all of you on the deck. Moxie, by the way, is still somewhere downstairs cooking. All of you on the deck to make a perception check, and if you get a total of 16 or more, please make an Arcana check.
You don't mind.
Boom, boom.
I'm just going to do it from here.
Oh, no, I haven't.
They're just on there.
Yeah, try the number.
Who's that?
10.
What works? Is it 13 now?
Guess that's every. Where's Woo? Have we lost? We've lost Hayden, haven't we? I'm gonna roll this for Hayden just because it's vaguely important. Perception, yeah. Arcana. Tommy on half 10. Is everyone good till 11?
Yeah.
I'm not really, Dave.
Okay, you want to end it here? Because this is a really good place to end it. So I'm just gonna need a couple of minutes, then we can end it if that's all right.
If you don't mind, guys, sorry.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's always good if someone wants to end it. I just need to know. I like to end on cliffhangers, so let's fucking end on a cliffhanger. So Darwin, Dukal, Wu, you feel. What did Tabitha get? 16 perception. And 10 on the. Oh no, 10 perception. Yeah. Okay, so Darwin, Dukal, and Wu, there's something not fucking right here. Dukal, you maybe had a warning earlier in the day that something wasn't right. And in this moment, when Tabitha calls out a warning about this choker with this amethyst gem, it pulses with light, and you all get a bit disorientated by the wave of energy that comes out from it. And you see, in the next breath, Lucy has her swords in her hands, and her eyes are dark, pure black. And she says, "Fine, have it your way." And she's going to cast Thunderwave, and we're going to end the session there as she casts Thunderwave. So next session we'll begin with you all rolling initiative. But to start with, I would like to begin by smacking you all in the fucking face with Thunderwave. Don't take it personally. I'm such a prick, I know.
What we signed up for, Dave.
Exactly. I know. Oh God, where's it gone? There it is.
Mercy is for the weak.
Exactly. I can't make my fingers work. Oh, there we go. So she's going to cast Thunder Wave, and she's going to cast it at. Oh, how much of a ball bag do I feel like? I mean, this is pretty last ditch. So I'm going to cast it at level 5. So
Somebody counter spell quickly.
has anyone got? I mean, if you've got counter spell, please do. But so 2d8 plus 1d8 for each level. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2d8. So it's 68 damage.
What now?
68?
Yeah, she's casting at level 5.
Fucking fascist.
Fascist wrath.
Okay, so I would like... she's going to do it in a cone that's going to hit Uther, Dukal, and Voldron. So I would like Uther, Dukal, and Voldron, please, to make a Constitution saving throw.
Right out.
Nice.
Well
Right
done.
with righteousness.
Assuming you can take 16.
Oh, well, I don't think I take half of that, or yeah, it doesn't matter what. Yeah, still see what it does, but.
So Uther, you take... you take half... I'm going to say quarter because it was a crit. So you take 8 damage. Dukal and Voldron, you take all 32.
15's not high enough.
So let me just
All
make
right.
a note.
Yeah.
Uther, 8 damage. Voldron,
Yeah,
Dukal, 32.
Oh, bitch, you're going over the side of the boat.
And you also get knocked back. Is it 10 feet? Yeah, and there's this deafening boom. So if there's any doubt, you're all aware that combat's happening. Uther, you don't get knocked back. You do take 8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Dukal, you're on 0. You're also knocked over the side of the ship.
This is going well.
You could have maybe tried to grab onto the sails, but you're unconscious. Voldron, you also take 32 damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dead, I think.
Yep. You were also knocked back from Lucy.
Okay.
That's a pretty epic place to leave it, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure about that at all.
So
I
yeah,
didn't even say.
that's where we're going to pick it up next time. Anyway,
Okay.
Okay,
Cheers, Dave.
we're all dead. Cheers.
I didn't expect you to encounter this so soon. I thought this would go on for maybe another 10, 15 sessions, but you've got to the bottom of something. You don't know exactly what, but yeah, I didn't think it was Ed and his fucking lucky fucking nat 20 at the beginning of the session. He noticed something iffy. That was the beginning of the downfall.
She's actually a baddie.
She's a baddie. Do you think?
Do you reckon?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Hangs,
You might be right. I think you might be right.
hangs around with dark elves.
Do you
Dark
think
elf.
I'm the sort of DM that would not be completely honest and present you with a world at face value that is what it appears to be? That's the question you've got to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you all know the fucking answer to that now, but right?
Maybe she's just a slave to mind flayers.
Maybe. It's a possibility.
I know the dark eyes are a bit of a giveaway, I think, James.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she's possessed. But...
She is an agent of the shadow.
Yay!
Oh, well.
I'm on the right side,
I wonder how many spell shots she's got left. I don't know.
but I'm dead now.
Alan.
I've got no spells.
Alan.
So I know how many spells we've got. It's how many spells she's got left.
Alan. I know how many spell slots
yeah,
she's got.
Short
I think it's been a fun campaign, but it ends here, David.
You've had short rest, so you've got yours back.
I feel like even though I wasn't expecting that, I feel like a sense of accomplishment from that session. Even though you've caught me off guard and you've broken me early, I kind of feel like, you know, That was good. That was a good place to end it, right?
Cool.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys.
See you later.
Right. Good night. I think Tabitha actually kind of had a hand in uncovering that as well. But, yeah, in fact, she fucking did uncover it. But
Who'd have thunk it?
I would never trust your DM, Johnny. Never.
I never will again. After this.
All I'll say is wait and see. Just see what happens next. You know.
It was a bad dream.
Remember that my goal is not to beat you; it's to entertain you
While beating you.
while beating you.
For your own entertainment.
No, just for me, not just for me, for all the voices that watch.
that tell you to do it.
They whisper to me at night, Johnny. They say, Johnny looks happy. We should make him dream of soup again.
I like dreaming of soup.
I know. I think that some of the best moments in our RPGs have come from you dreaming of soup.
It is.
I mean, they did the other night.
It's a special shared bond.
There was some crazy madness that went on between Siegfried and Trontia the other night.
Johnny, I don't know if you know this. But the other night, after that moment that we had, I tried to tell. I was drunk, I'll admit, but I tried to tell Alan, Hayden, and Dave what had happened between Siegfried and Trontia, and they got really upset about it. And basically,
you don't remember any of that, Dave. So don't pretend like you did. So
they were convinced I was going to read them a pornographic story, and they yelled at me until I stopped speaking. Is what happened.
You have no memory. You have no recollection.
No, I don't. But that's what happened, isn't it?
Did you tell them anyway?
No.
What? Yeah. What we said is we don't want to hear what you've been getting up to with your little Johnny. You know,
but
we're better off. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. So.
I seem to recall I rolled an 8 for Siegfried.
Yeah. It wasn't a little Johnny at all. But it wasn't. It wasn't a weird kinky sex scene, was it, Johnny? It was.
It was full on.
It was weird. It was troubling. It was disturbing. But
it was disturbing.
But it wasn't a sex scene, was it? Really?
It was. No. It was more of a. Yeah.
An awakening.
I don't know. More of an awakening, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
A revelation, some might say.
Was there
a revelation? In manner of speaking, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Siegfried and Trontia definitely had sex, but I didn't describe the sex scene, did I? At any point. The closest I got to describing the sex scene was saying, in the moment of release. That was the phrase I used.
Yes.
Well, other than that, I didn't describe sex scene.
We already told you, Dave. We don't want to hear about it. You know, we don't want to know what they got to do.
I didn't say whose release it was either. That's the important bit.
It will clearly have been Tronica's first, obviously, because you know.
Because Siegfried's considerate. He's always thinking about other people. And he also takes his time with his shot as well. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's not one to just randomly blast away.
All I'd like to say is that that Trontia literally is on record as having murdered her ex-husband and his lover, and her ex-husband's lover's entire tribe. So you know.
So it's a danger sex. So.
It's definitely risky. It's a little bit bunny boiler.
Yeah, it's a little bit Fatal Attraction, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Which is cool. I think it's quite funny.
With psychic powers, which makes it more spicy.
It does. Well, Siegfried's got a bit of a chem rig, you know. We could really. It could get wild. It could get wild. Who knows what could happen?
I know. Sorry. Uh, the real question is, Johnny, have you had any nightmares about that since it happened?
No.
Ah, see?
No, I haven't.
See? It's just Hayden that's the pussy.
Did you actually have a nightmare about it?
He told me. You remember when I took his arm and his eye?
Yeah.
Hold on. You're taking over here now, Dave.
No,
You had a nightmare.
no.
I made him have a nightmare. I don't know
Yeah, you
about
did.
you.
But he told me when that session when I took his arm and his eye.
Johnny
he told me
was responsible for.
He told me he'd had. Yeah, that was Johnny's fault, but I did it. But he told me he'd had nightmares about that, and then when you gave him nightmares, he was like, "That was worse than what Dave did to me when he took my arm and eye." So you're winning, Al. Don't get me wrong, but I was the first.
Okay. You're saying he's got a sensitive heart.
No, I don't think he has. I mean, it's Hayden. We know he hasn't. I just think he has. He has like a.
He gets very immersed. Yeah, he's very.
Yeah, he gets absorbed by the story, I think.
Definitely. And you can take advantage of that.
You can, but should you? Is the question, Johnny? Should you take advantage of it? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Emotional content.
You must.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
It's a real damage.
Real hit point.
Hayden accrues real sanity points.
I think he might be right there, Al. I think he maybe does.
He's all,
and that's
got loads of temporary hit points when he's mashed off his tits, but
yeah, that's also true. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. There's always what goes up must come down. So there's a price to be paid.
I tell you what, I'll give Hayden his due. When he's drunk or incredibly high, he's still as efficient and dangerous a gamer as when he's sober. And a really good example is like Alan, your Goblin War campaign. That first session where I was fucking battered. Like, how long did I take on one turn?
Yeah. You took a while to decide to hit someone with your sword. Yeah, it was
I was like, no. What I'm going to do is, no, I can't do that because I've used a bonus action. No, I'm going to use this spell that's like, no, that's a bonus action. I'm going to use this ability that's, no, that's a bonus action. And I just kept doing that.
Hayden can beat you in 40k when he's pissed. Easy,
yeah.
You know, it's just as easy, you know. So it's no problem. He's maybe even more efficient. I don't know.
I think he gains power from alcohol.
Intoxication.
Yeah.
Hey, he's back with us. Here he is. Come back, he's back with us.
That's pure agent of chaos that you can, become stronger by being more out of control.
This reminds me, I think sometimes, like, I think there was one session, I think it was you, and you said something like, I don't know, blood for the blood god, and you shouted blood for the blood god, and it brought Hayden back into the game.
Revived him.
Yeah.
Summoned him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go now. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I probably should
as always.
Work in the
Hello,
morning.
mate.
No worries, guys.
Take
it easy.
There's nothing planned at the moment, is there, for this or Dark? Okay.
Well, I'm away next week, or this coming week, right? So I can't play during the week.
Again? Where are you going
Away.
now? Stop going away, Alan.
I'm going to wizard school.
Oh yeah, there you are. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going taking Nicole to Harry Potter experience.
Yeah, cool.
So we're down London way for a few days.
Okay.
Yeah, Macy was really envious, so now we're taking her.
Cool.
But I think it'll be November before we get there.
When are you back, Al?
So it's I think Monday, Tuesday. So we're going down Monday, so it's 1, 2, 3. I think we're back maybe Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure.
Would you be up for a game on Sunday of something? I don't know what yet, but
yeah, I should think I'll be up for a game Sunday, whatever.
Okay. Right, I'll figure out who's available and I'll see what the score is, and we'll take it from there.
Cool.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
Groovy.
Good night, chaps.
See you
Take care, guys. Bye. Ciao.
Good
another
night.
week.
See you
Bye
later.
bye.
See ya.
Good night. You missed a good game. That's all right. I mean, not much happened. It was just, one of them games where not much happened, but it got a bit daft, and everyone was playing about and just. I wasn't trying to push the story. I was just letting people play.